go right. You can go forward, but never ever back. Yeah, just woke up. I ain't gonna wake up. Beautiful day. I ain't feeling your side.
I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? KCE, King Chaka.
King Chaka ENT. Y'all can check out the music on Spotify, Apple, and other services. Hey, how y'all doing out there? How y'all feel? Remember, an educated and united public cannot be controlled. Get organized. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Podemos ayudarnos más? Sí se puede. I really want to check and make sure that I'm being heard. Give me 1 second. I hate it when I'm fucking by myself. Okay. Today, the name of this show is Vivid Dreams. Vivid Dreams. So, I quit smoking Mary Jane. It's been like at least 3 months, maybe longer. I just don't like the way it makes me feel. And it's so strong and just, anyways, this is a decision I made. And I'm kind of proud of it because I smoked like every day for like 20 years. And when I say every day, I mean every day, bro. Every day. So, but since I've quit, I've been having very vivid dreams, like they're like a damn movie happening, and like I mean, like the details are crazy, like, and then all of the scenarios are all like realistic, like nothing like supernatural really happening in my dreams. Like it's all just like kind of mundane stuff, maybe a little intense, but regular stuff. Like stuff that could happen, basically, is what I'm saying. Just weird and super vivid, like super detailed, like it's like I'm watching a movie. And I was wondering if the reason why I'm having these vivid dreams is because I quit. And I'm like, maybe I can't really remember, but maybe before I smoked so much, maybe I was having the vivid dreams, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I think maybe questioning myself on that because I can't really remember. But I talked to my sister about it, and she said that she's been having very vivid dreams too, you know. And she's like, "You're moving around in the astral plane. That's why you're having these vivid dreams. Is like you're doing stuff. Like the stuff is kind of real. It definitely seems real in the dreams. The dreams seem so real. I don't know, you know. So maybe I am doing stuff with my mind. Like maybe it was the smoking the Mary Jane was dampening my mental to a certain extent, and you know, because I used to have nightmares all the time, and I used to struggle sleeping too. You know, I guess I still kind of struggle sleeping, but I do so much, and I'd be so tired now. I just, you know, but I've trained myself in a certain way to be like, you know, I don't lay down until I'm like exhausted, and I make sure that I've done something, like to feel like I've accomplished something, you know, and then that's when I go to sleep. You know, like I force myself to go to sleep because I'm like, I got to get up in the morning. I'm gonna do that tonight because I have to work all day tomorrow. But the vivid dreams, what do y'all think about that? What is it? Is it because of not smoking a Mary Jane and just some people just have vivid dreams and that's the reason why they've come back because I don't smoke no more? Or do you think that is something more like related to the astral plane and moving around in another dimension, like, like doing things like even time travel type stuff? Like, I wonder about it. I've been thinking about it really heavily because I can't, it's unbelievable how clear and crisp the dreams are. And I also remember them very clearly. So it's like before I would have dreams and I could barely remember it. Like I remember parts or whatever, or I remember the feeling that it gave me. I'll remember that. I'll wake up with a feeling. But now it's different. I wake up and I remember everything that happened in the dream, like the whole thing. Like, and it happens all the time because sometimes when I get a break from work, like I work all day and I might get like an hour break and I'll take a nap, 45 minutes or something like that. And even in like a 45-minute nap, I'm having these really intense, vivid dreams. Super intense, to the not intense like I'm having a nightmare and it's like night terrors. Not that kind of intense. Intense as far as the details and the how vivid it is and how clear and crystal it is. And also the uncanniness of the things that happen in the dream are all like realistic stuff. Like it's not me like flying around or nothing. It's nothing like that. It's nothing supernatural at all. It's all like common kind of things that could possibly happen, maybe the wrong faces or the wrong names or something like that, maybe there, but it's all just like stuff that could happen, you know like dreaming in the restaurant and working or something, just like really weird stuff like that. I don't know. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about the vivid dreams? Do y'all have vivid dreams? And do you think dreams have meaning? You know, Scientifically, they haven't figured out why we have dreams. Like, there's no real explanation for it scientifically. For our biological, there's explanations for like everything that we do, like for the most part. Like, you can scientifically explain why we do certain things, like almost everything. It can all go down to a biological thing. But the dreams are an issue with science because, there's always a benefit, you know, biologically for our motivations for the things that we do. But they can't find any real biological benefits for dreaming. So that's one of the reasons why it's strange. And it's like, what is the point of it? One of the things I like to think about with sleeping is like, I compare people to computers. So like your computer has to reboot, you know, it reboots and it clears the cache, it gets rid of temporary files and, kind of cleans itself up. It refreshes, you know, and I think that's something that happens with us when we sleep. We clear those cache files and we reboot, you know. Biologically, sleep can be explained, but dreams cannot. It's like there's no need for the dream. You can still clear the cache and reboot without the dreams. So it's like, what is the point of the dreams? Why do we have these dreams? What is going on? And another thing I think about related to that is, I like to say the universe is mind. You know, it's endless and infinite, and we're connected to it. We are the universe. We're part of it. We're in it, and we're of it, and we are it, like expressing itself. one of the things that people get confused about is when they talk about space, and they're like, that's why they say outer space, because when people say space, they're thinking of, away from the planet with the stars, the sun, solar system, galaxies, or whatever, away from the planet. But we're in it. That's the reason why they say outer space, you know, because the space doesn't end at the end of the planet. It's just that we have this atmosphere that's around the earth, that creates the conditions that we live in, the weather and so forth and so on. But space didn't end at that intersection of, the edge of the planet of our atmosphere. you know Space continued. It's because we're in it. And I think that a lot of people don't really understand that. We just have a bubble. We got a bubble that we're in, floating through space, speeding through space, really. I saw this really interesting diagram that showed how the solar system moves. I don't know if I showed it on the show, and I don't know if I can find it right now. So I don't want to try to pull it up because it'll be distracting. But the diagrams that we look at that show the solar system and how it moves is in a 2D way, you know, and it's like it looks flat, and it looks like the planets are just circling around the sun, and some are closer and some are further away. But basically, like it looks like the sun is stationary and the planets are just kind of going around it, kind of like a whirlpool or something like that. But that's not the case at all, because the sun is also moving. So the sun is speeding through space, and the planets are circling, orbiting around the sun at the same time. So it's kind of like, um, what could I compare it to? It's people understand comets. They understand comets, and they understand like how comets have stuff flying off of it, and how it kind of has a tail. That's more like what the solar system would look like, is what a comet looks like when it's moving, and the debris falling off of it or whatever. That's kind of what the solar system actually looks like. It looks like a comet going, and the tail is kind of the planets. It's the debris that's kind of coming off of it, you know. And that's a better way of kind of understanding it. So I don't know. What's up, Pat? How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. How about yourself?
I can't complain. I can't complain. I can't stay on long. I gotta work all day tomorrow. I was intending on sleeping in the morning, but that's not gonna work out. I'm gonna have to get up. So,
Uh-oh.
what
Well,
do you think? The vivid dreams, man. Have you been having vivid dreams? What do you think about dreams in general? And have you been having vivid dreams, like the ones where it's really clear and crystal, and you can remember the whole thing?
yeah. I mean, from time to time. I mean, I don't have them all the time. You know, I do a lot of guided uh sleep meditation. So my it does it kind of sends you to a certain place. And I think for vivid dreams, I mean, I guess it could happen through that route of what I do for sleep. When I go to bed, go to sleep, but I think that usually happens when I don't do the guided meditations and things like that. When it's just my brain is my subconscious is free to you know kind of do its own thing. But I have experienced some very very vivid, colorful, ex- uh, and maybe I could say extreme dreams from time to time. So I mean, I guess the favorite one that I speak about is when me fighting the zombies and kicking a bunch of ass, and I kind of got mad because I woken up in the middle of kicking a bunch of zombie ass, but
He was disappointed. I wanted to go back and kick the zombie's ass.
you know what I'm saying?
You done interrupted my. So, but
And
what do you
bro,
think about it as far as the astral plane, and like, what does it mean? Like, why do we dream? How how does it affect us? Like, what is happening when we do it? Do you think about that, like with the universe and our mind expanding, like the universe?
um, well, I don't I mean, as far as like a why, that's I'm not 100% sure, but I think it takes us on into another realm of our own personal life. Somewhere else. This is where we're you know, what we're going through or dealing with, or at least an aspect of it. And it could be a bunch of symbology. It could be, your brain sending you messaging um, on, how to deal with, the physical world you're in. So I mean, it could be. I think it can vary. I think it differs depending on the person and the timing, the situation, and it's really kind of there for that person to kind of sift through and try to get clarity, you know, for themselves.
Yeah. So, like messages, I like that idea because people go to what do they call them? Dream something, where you go to people and you tell them what your dream it was, and they analyze it and then they tell you what it means. You know,
Decoders, pretty
and
much like a decoder.
yeah. So these people, you go to them, you tell them what your dream was, and then they tell you what it means. And it's like, what is it? One of the sayings, it's like if you dream of fish, it means that you're pregnant or something like that.
Yeah,
Random stuff like that.
yeah. I don't know. That's kind of an ideology that I know that like my mom and her sisters kind of grew up with it. Because I honestly I wonder sometimes if like me not having the dreams that because I used to have dreams a lot when I was younger, and based on I think possibly our diets, like the food, like us not actually getting real food, real nutrients, real um like things from the natural foods from the earth, that we're somewhat disconnected. And I'm in I can really mostly speak for myself because that's how I feel in a lot of cases, because sometimes I do have those little breakthrough moments, but for the most part I don't anymore. So I don't know if it's my health or whatever that doesn't allow the creative side, the visual, those visuals, those ideals or whatever that comes through um, the dream world, that astral plane where you're able to, go places outside of your body. I think you really got to be in, you know,
Good
at least,
health,
yeah,
mental, physical, spiritual health. So
yeah.
have you ever had a dream that you knew what it meant or whatever? Like you woke up and you was like, okay, I need to take care of business. I need to do such and such and such. Like you just knew because you had a feeling or whatever, a vibe.
Yeah, but it was dealing with the relationship, and the messaging that I got through that dream just pretty much told me to, you know, I needed out of that relationship. It wasn't anything, truly dangerous, at least at the point. But I really felt like, based on that dream, if I was to prolong it and try to, like it could be bad. So, I think that one dream kind of set the stage for my last breakup that I had.
Mm.
So, I mean, um I believe, the way the universe works is that, it will make sure you get your messaging, whether it's awake or sleep. It's just whether or not we're paying enough attention. So, I mean, it's really, because I think sometimes, when it gets to the way the dream was, I wasn't, really paying all of, as much attention as I should or could, well, to the situation that was going on. And there was some signs that, but after that dream, it really woke me up and kind of made me pay more attention to everything. Because at the time I was, like, I think this was like going through the pandemic, worrying about my son, how he was, getting through a lot of the things that was going on. Um, him not being, with me or his mother. He even though he was in a safe place, he was with my mom, but uh, it was just a lot of things that was going on that I think I put, focused my mind toward in my waking state. So the universe forced me to acknowledge those things in my dream state. So,
Mm. And that it was something that you needed to deal with in the real world. It
hmm
was like you had an anxiety or stress about a topic that you couldn't let it go even once you went to sleep.
hmm
That makes sense.
so yeah, I think it's something that we just have to kind of, I mean, because we need to pay attention to really all of the things that we're going through day to day. Because, I mean, ultimately, it is our roadmap, like our life, the events throughout our life, and then there's things you know, that's there to wake us up or, you know,
I
kind of,
completely agree with that. Like everything is a message to you. Like the universe speaks to you.
hmm
God speaks to you through other people, through animals, through events, through the weather, through your dreams.
yeah,
And we have to pay attention so we can get the message.
yeah, man. Self-analyzation is very important, and I, because I do it quite a bit, but I think that of course, there's times, you know, maybe I guess my brain is tries to shut off certain parts because, that, like, a part of our mental health happens because of our ability to deal with certain things or to acknowledge certain things in our life, and a lot of times I think we, shut these
We
shut out.
ignore them
Yeah.
or explain them away or whatever. And
Yes.
I completely agree with you. I think that that's what insanity is when you're not facing reality. The more you don't face reality, the more insane you become. Like the more crazy you are, as a result of not facing the truth, not facing reality,
Yeah.
especially related to yourself. Like, what are the consequences of the things that you have done? When you blame others all the time for your life, and for things that are happening to you, then that makes you crazy. Like it's just the denial. The denial is what goes down that crazy road, that insane road.
Yeah.
Let me read this article right quick. It says 9 common dreams and what they mean. Dream analysis and interpretation are imperfect sciences by Kendrick Cherry, July 23rd. 2022. It says medically reviewed by Amy Morin. It says the subject of dream interpretation has been of interest for many years, and for good reason. Understanding the deeper meaning of dreams can bring about realizations that how you feel and think, which can be beneficial for providing personal insight. That's basically what we were saying. It says understanding dream interpretations. Famed psychoanalyst Sigmund Freud described dreams as the royal road to the conscious, no, the royal road to the unconscious, and suggested that by studying the obvious content of dreams, we could bring to light the hidden and unconscious desires that lead to neurosis. That kind of sounds like what we were saying too. Let me read some more. It says, analyzing dream symbols and ascribing meaning to them has become a source of both entertainment and self reflection in popular culture. Do dreams mean anything? Can you learn your unconscious wishes and desires by interpreting your dreams? What your dreams tell you and whether they reveal your true feelings depends on various factors. While some modern theories of dreams suggest that the answer is no, that dreams may have a more biological component or even be due to sleep position, this hasn't stopped interpreters and analysts from attempting to identify what common dream themes and symbols mean. Seven most common dreams. Researchers have found that the seven most common dreams involve being attacked or chased, being late, loved ones dying, falling, flying, school, and sex. Let's take a closer look at some of the common dreams and what dream interpretation books have to say about them. 1. Dreams about falling. Dreams about falling from great heights are very common. While there is a popular myth that if you hit the ground in your dream you will die in real life, it simply is not true. So, what exactly could dreams about falling really mean? According to many popular dream interpretations, in at least one study, falling dreams are a sign that something in your life isn't going well. It might suggest that you need to rethink a choice, for instance, or consider a new direction in some area of your life. Dreaming of falling is very common. It is a symbol of fear in real life, perhaps of failing at work or in your love life, says Russell Grant, author of the Illustrated Dream Dictionary. He adds that falling often expresses a need to let yourself go more and enjoy life more. That's interesting.
Very.
Let's read this one. It says the number 2 is dreams about being naked in public. Have you ever had one of those awkward dreams where you show up at school or the office in your birthday suit? Don't worry. Dreaming about being naked is hardly unusual. Penny Pierce, the author of Dream Dictionary for Dummies, suggests that dreaming of public nudity might indicate that you feel like a phony or you are afraid of revealing your imperfections and shortcomings. That's interesting.
Hmm.
Uh-huh. You're wearing a mask all the time, so you're afraid of people seeing your real self.
Uh-oh.
Let me read this one. It says dreams about being chased. Dreams that feature being pursued by a known or unknown attacker can be particularly terrifying, and many people experience these types of dreams. But what do dreams of being chased say about what's going on inside your mind? Dream interpreters often suggest that such dreams mean that you are trying to avoid something in your daily life. Tony Crisp, the author of Dream Dictionary, suggests that being chased in a dream might indicate a desire to escape from your own fears or desires. The key to understanding what such a dream might mean depends partly on the identity of your pursuer. If it is an animal, you might be hiding from your own anger, passions, and other feelings. An unknown chaser, if your pursuer is a mysterious unknown figure, it might represent a childhood experience or past trauma. A member of the opposite sex, Cripps suggests this means you are afraid of love or haunted by a past relationship. That one's interesting because I've had quite a few dreams. I used to have nightmares, and it was always kind of similar and reoccurring nightmare where I was being chased. I was running, and everyone that I was with would die until like towards the end of the dream, it would just be me left running from this. And in this dream, it would be an unknown figure, something that I couldn't see. I didn't know what it was, but it was taking out everybody else that was around me. And I felt like I was next, and I'm just running. I wake up sweating and tired. I used to have a reoccurring dream like that. So that's interesting. They said if it's unknown chaser, it might represent a childhood experience or past trauma. And that makes sense because I had a pretty traumatic childhood, and maybe it's some traumas that I haven't faced, or maybe it's like something in my life that I need to change about myself that I'm running from, you know? Maybe that's what that means.
Something
That's
to
interesting.
explore.
That's interesting. Number
Yeah.
4 is dreams about losing teeth. What do dreams mean if your teeth fall out? Penny Pierce, you've had that?
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like it was. I felt like maybe it was like from a nuclear fallout, and then just, you know, my shit in my mouth. It was weird. Like that's been years ago since it's happened, but yeah. But so yeah, I want to hear what it's got to say. I can't really. Well, I guess I could blow it up some and read it to you.
I can read it, but I just want to say I never had dreams about falling, and I never had dreams about being naked in public. So the only one so far that fits me is the one being chased, and I've never had dreams about losing teeth. It says, what do dreams mean if your teeth fall out? Penny Pierce, the author of Dream Dictionary for Dummies, suggests that dreaming about losing teeth can have multiple meanings. It might mean that you are worried about your attractiveness or appearance, for instance. It may also indicate that you are concerned about your ability to communicate, or that you are concerned that you might have said something embarrassing. The real essence of teeth is their ability to bite through, to cut, tear, and grind, she explains. If your teeth fall out, you lose personal power and your ability to be assertive, decisive, and self-protective. What does that mean to you?
That's I don't I don't relate, but okay, I'm listening. So I mean, I don't never really had those issues. At least none that I know of. Um, Now decisiveness maybe, but that doesn't last long. Sometimes I have kind of kind of hard. Like sometimes it's tough to make decisions on certain things, but when it's time to go, I just go.
Mm.
I make a mistake or not, it is what it is. But
Yeah, so it says concerned about your ability to communicate, or that you are concerned that you might have said something embarrassing. It says you lose personal power and your ability to be assertive, decisive, and self-protective. Okay, it says dreams about dying. I've never had a dream about dying either.
me
Uh,
either, yeah.
I've had the dream that something was trying to kill me, but I never had a dream of that, like I died. It says dreams about dying. Death is another common subject of dreams, and one that can be particularly disconcerting. Dreamers sometimes dream of the death of a loved one or even of dying themselves. Popular dream interpretations suggest that such dreams reflect anxiety about change or a fear of the unknown. Like death, change can be scary because, also like death, we do not know what is on the other side of the change, which is why the dreaming mind equates change with death, suggests Lori Lowenberg in her book Dream on It, Unlock Your Dreams, Change Your Life. Lowenberg also believes that dreaming about the death of a loved one can reflect a similar fear of change, especially with regard to our children. As a child grows up, a parent's mind begins to wonder where the younger version of the child went. Dreams of dying, therefore, reflect a sort of mourning for the passage of time. Studies have also shown that those approaching the end of life and loved ones around them experience significant and meaningful dreams, often relating to a comforting presence, preparing to go, watching or engaging with deceased loved ones, waiting, distressing experiences, and unfinished business. Hmm. So it's all about change, and anxiety about change, and the fear of the unknown.
Hmm.
All right. Number 6, it says dreams about taking a test. I've never had a dream about taking a test. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, no, I don't think I've ever had a dream about taking tests. It says studies have also found that dreams of test taking are common. According to Craig Hamilton Parker, author of The Hidden Meaning of Dreams, taking an exam in your dream might reveal an underlying fear of failure. Examinations are stressful experiences in which you are made to face up to your shortcomings, he writes. To dream of failing an exam, being late for one, or being unprepared shows that you feel unprepared for the challenges of waking life. That's interesting too. I really can't think of a dream about taking a test. I have dreams of being in school and being in class sometimes, but I can't remember actually having a dream about a test. And tests do scare me or whatever, give me a lot of anxiety, stress me the hell out. But I can't remember having dreams about it. Number 7, it says dreams about infidelity. Dreaming that your spouse or romantic partner is cheating on you with someone else can be incredibly distressing. In some cases, people even start to wonder if the dream might really be true. Does dreaming that your partner is unfaithful mean that it might happen or that it is already happening? While these dreams might be the reflection of fears of infidelity, such dreams probably don't mean that your spouse is cheating or will cheat, says Trish and Rob McGregor, authors of Complete Dream Dictionary, a beside guide to knowing what your dreams mean. This is another what if dream. You are testing the limits of reality, the author suggests. Eva Adamson and Gail Williamson, authors of the Complete Idiot's Guide Dream Dictionary, posit that dreams about infidelity indicate issues with trust, loyalty, and communication in a relationship. If you or your partner cheated in your dream, one of you isn't getting what you need from that relationship right now, they write. I can totally see that. So like the person that's having the dream that someone is cheating on them, they have some trust issues, and then those trust issues gotta have to come from somewhere. It either comes from them actually cheating themselves, or or them not feeling a genuine connection with their partner, or leaving out things like not having, like they said, communication issues. I can see that.
Hmm.
All right. Number 8, it says dreams about flying. Many people experience dreams about flying. Flying dreams can be exciting and even liberating, but they can also sometimes be quite frightening, especially for those afraid of heights. According to Tony Crist, author of Dream Dictionary, dreams about flying often have two very different sides. They can represent feelings of freedom and independence. On the other hand, they can also indicate a desire to flee or escape from the realities of life. Mm. Flying
Cause
alone.
I have had the flying dream.
And my daughter's mom used to tell me she had dreams that she flew a lot. She would have dreams about her flying, and she would explain it to me.
And not like in a machine, like just me personally just flying, but I also
That's
crashed.
that's what she said. She would just like open the window and she would just like go out of the window and just fly, like not in no machine or nothing, just flying
Yeah,
around. And so that part where they said indicated desire to flee or escape from the realities of life, I think that was her thing probably. Let
yeah.
me read some more on this one. It says flying alone occurs most frequently, he writes, showing the independent aspect of flying. But because it often involves positive feelings of pleasure, flying may depict our sexuality, especially aspects of it expressing freedom from social norms and restraints. Could have been that too for her. That makes sense. Okay, number 9, dreams about pregnancy. Dream interpreters often suggest that dreams about pregnancy represents everything from creativity to fear. David C. Loff, the author of Dream Dictionary, believes that pregnancy dreams might sometimes represent a woman's fear of being an inadequate mother. Author Tony Chris has a different take, suggesting that pregnancy dreams indicate that the dreamer is developing some area of potential or deepening a relationship. Dream interpreter Russell Grant writes that these dreams presage difficult times. Hmm.
Hmm.
Yes,
Interesting.
interesting.
Very, very.
It's a. Let me read a little bit more on it because those were the top dreams, the top 9 dreams. But they got a little bit more here. It says frequently asked questions. What does it mean when you dream about someone? Psychoanalyst Carl Jung believed that if you dream about someone close to you or someone who is important to you, that might represent how you feel about that person in real life. Whereas if you dream about a person you are not close with, such as someone in your past or an unknown person, that person is more symbolic. Sigmund Freud suggests that the environment around the person you're dreaming about may matter as well, such as dreaming of your parents in places you would normally find a king and a queen, which would be a sign of respect for them. Now, I have had dreams about other people, like people in my past. I've definitely done that. I definitely have had dreams about people.
Yeah, I would say I have too.
Let me read this one. It says, how accurate are dream interpretations? There's no way to answer this question with any certainty, as dream interpretations are both individual and subjective. They are individual in the meaning of dreams for one person may not be the same for another. Dream interpretations are also subjective in that they are based on meanings that you assign them. And these assigned meanings can also differ from one person to the next. Well, that's kind of common sense. It says, why are dream interpretations important in psychoanalysis? The self-organized theory of dreaming implies that dreams are a reflection of one's psychological and physiological activities, those providing important information about the person's thoughts and emotional state. Psychoanalysts can then use the person's dreams to better understand what is going on in their mind, perhaps on an unconscious level. Hmm. This one, it says, what does sexual dreams mean? Some studies suggest that having sexual dreams is a result of your thoughts and fantasies when you're awake, with more frequent thoughts about sex contributing to more of these dreams. Others connect dreaming about sex with a desire to be in a sexually stimulated situation. These types of dreams are common, with more than 95% of people reporting having dreams that are erotic in nature. I do have those kinds of dreams, like
Yeah.
uh sexual in nature.
Sometimes my mattress is getting it in the morning. Yeah. Um. I don't really understand. Really understand it other than okay, yeah. There are some gaps in um in my sex life, so
Yeah,
but
me too. So I think that's what explains those for me. That's how I explain them anyways.
yeah.
It says, what do reoccurring dreams mean? Some researchers theorize that recurring dreams represent being frustrated about psychological needs that are unmet. Recurring dreams are also common after experiencing a lot of mental distress, such as with post traumatic stress disorder. Now, I haven't lately, but I have had reoccurring dreams a lot in the past where it'd be the same as dream. And sometimes if I was to fall back asleep, I would fall right back into that
Into the
exact
same.
same dream.
I've experienced that, but it's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've had anything like that.
Okay, this kind of goes with the topic because I'm talking. The name of the show is Vivid Dreams. This one it says, "What do vivid dreams mean?" In some cases, having vivid or highly intense dreams is a result of major trauma, with some studies showing increases in the types of dreams post 9/11. Dreams that are vivid generally occur during REM sleep and could also be due to fragmented sleep, sleep deprivation, a sleep disorder, stress, pregnancy, or a medication you are taking. But sometimes I don't get enough sleep. So I could see that being a reason if that's what they're saying. It says fragmented sleep or sleep deprivation, a sleep disorder, stress, pregnancy, or a medication that you're taking. So I don't think it's the medications because I'm not taking medications, but I could see fragmented sleep or sleep deprivation or having some kind of sleep disorder, stress. I could see all of that being a
Hmm.
cause.
Well, but at the same time, I don't know, like a vivid dream. You know, I don't think because I mean that would be a combination. Because see, a vivid dream to me is just one that is like 4K, 8K. Something very bright, very clear. Not necessarily. Like it's But I guess if some of those other things are in that vivid dream, you know, I I don't know if that's a good example of at least what I believe I've known a vivid dream to be about because I mean I guess it could fall into really any of those categories, depending on your mind state. But so I mean I would say that their vivid dream that they're explaining is also probably can be diagnosed through another one of those types of dreams.
Yeah, I agree with you. So it would be a combination because any of those other dreams could be very vivid.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into some politics and stuff here. This first thing, I retweeted this. It says there is no coups, invasions, lies, proxy wars, and how many Americans they can keep convinced that our government is the good guys. The new multipolar world is coming, and America will no longer be able to bully, kill, threaten, and steal to maintain control. Yeah, I retweeted that because I think that is true.
What?
Let me play this clip. What? You want to comment
Share
on
that.
that?
Well, no, I was just gonna say share that
Wait,
with me.
I lost. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I've been using Twitter more lately because the
Oh,
YouTube
you're on
videos be
Twitter?
freezing up and stuff.
I
Yeah,
thought
I'm
that
on
was
Twitter.
Instagram. Okay. Yeah, I don't really do Twitter.
Yeah, yeah, the Twitter has been more working out better for me, in using it for the show. But I have to do this beforehand because I can't scroll on my Twitter feed because there's too much other, debauchery on there. So I
Gotcha.
retweet these and I go through my retweets and that's what I
It's
use.
worse. It's worse than your Instagram.
Oh yeah, man. My Instagram is PG 13 compared to my Twitter.
Okay.
Let's play this so it can give me a chance to rest my voice.
Would you compare it to communist China? And what do you do? When do you try and leave? And where would you go?
Well, I have no place to go. America is home. That's why I wanted to tell my stories to warn Americans that it's not just critical race theory, it's not just 2 weeks flat the curve, it's not just for public health and temporary shutdown. It's not. I don't do that. I say it's our liberty and the rights could be gone forever if we don't speak up, if we don't fight back, we don't resist. And do we want to ruled by communists? Have everybody who came here from communist countries then to condemn America? I have my YouTube channel, Lily Tong Williams. I'm gonna go get the immigrants come to my channel, talk about their stories, why we choose this country, why we love America, why we reject all this nonsense to call America systemic racist country. Is that really about race or is it about something else? It's about destruction, fundamentally destruction of America, the values, the exceptionalism, and the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, to replace them with what? What are we going to do after we destruct? We're going to be equally poor. We're going to have a Marxism. We're going to have our children all become little social justice warriors, don't have any skills, and don't have any love for this country. Chinese government, CCP is laughing to the bank right now. They have infiltrated our society and see America exactly is where they want it. They are threatening people like me in this country speak up against the communism. We are traitors. We are counter-revolutionary, or we are extremists. Whatever, our media rhetoric are consistent with Chinese official talking points. It's so sad. Why are they doing that?
What's up, Deuce?
Shit,
Dude, dude.
what's going down, man?
Not much, not
Chilling,
much.
chilling.
Man, this I ain't gonna lie. This woman, like, she's speaking my pain. Like, she really is speaking my pain, bro. Cause like, this is something that I've been saying for a while here on the show and in real life. It's like we won't, is before if it's we wait until it's all said and done, it's gonna be too late to do anything about being able to really change things. Like this is what like before it goes too far is the time for us to do it. But I think people have gotten so comfortable with doing nothing and just existing in this paradigm, shall I say, um, and it's not like we're improving. We're on a decline, and people have been okay with accepting it because that's what we were taught. That it's we'll just pray about it, and things will just change, or hey, you know what? We just gotta some really no real good reason to think to believe the way of that, but most of us really believes that, okay, Jesus is coming one day and he's going to save us all. And that's not what the book really says, you know, only to a simple person, I would say. That, because the book is I think the book is good. It's just that it's being decoded by the wrong people. The we're not getting all of the truth out of it because I mean, what was the point of Jesus turning over tables in the church? Like, what he was upset about something. What was that about? You don't think you have to at least do what he did sometimes?
And
So,
I ain't gonna lie, the beginning of her quote, I want to play it again because the beginning of it was really good. Where she was like, it's like whittling away all the freedoms, whittling away, just more and more control. Each major event that happens, like going back to 9/11, we just lose a little bit more and we just give it away to them, and they never give it back. It's
well,
it's mo-
no, well, yeah, no, you're totally right with that. But the problem is in all of those situations, they were they were rigged. It was rigged. It was planned. It was like they like these things happened so that they could take advantage of that situation and get us to. Because I mean, you know, the majority of people around the world, but let's just say especially here in America, we do give a shit about ourselves and others around us, and we're gonna do certain things that we can do to try to protect, each other if this is what is necessary. But in a lot of cases, we've been fooled into believing that something happened or is more serious than what it really was, because I mean, we talk about 9/11. We could talk about, shoot, going back to the Oklahoma bombing. We can talk about some of the things that happened most recently. Like, a lot of these things were constructed, and like, I watch these C-SPAN and I actually see these actual things. Um, you know, where they're talking, especially like with Fauci and stuff. Like, bro, they paid to make this thing get to a point to where it could be at least a nuisance, um, or something that they can manipulate. Not to say that that it's not real. The C-19. Not to say that it's not real, but the way that they pushed it, and the only way to solve it was this, and this. And I don't know, bro. I'm gonna just say that we really have to stand up for ourselves, and you know, if we don't, we are gonna lose a lot of things that we have come accustomed to, and our children and definitely our grandchildren will deal with things that we were too
and we
to
are
deal with.
and we are losing every day more and more. Like, I want to
I mean,
play it again, and then I want Deuce to give a comment. So let me play this again.
Would you
yeah.
compare it to communist China? And what do you do? When do you try and leave, and where would you go?
Well, I have no place to go. America is home. That's why I wanted to tell my stories to warn Americans that it's not just critical race theory. It's not just 2 weeks flat the curve. It's not just for public health and temporary shutdown. It's not. I don't say that. I say it's our liberty and the rights could be gone forever if we don't speak up, if we don't fight back, we don't resist. And do we want to ruled by communists? Have everybody who came here from communist countries then to condemn America? I have my YouTube channel, Lily Tom Williams. I'm gonna get the immigrants come to my channel, talk about their stories, why we choose this country, why we love America, why we reject all this nonsense to call America systemic racist country. Is that really about race, or is it about something else? It's about destruction, fundamentally destruction of America, the values, the exceptionalism, and the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, to replace them with what? What are we going to do after we destruct? We're going to be equally poor. We're going to have a Marxism. We're going to have our children all become little social justice warriors, don't have any skills, and don't have any love for this country. Chinese government, CCP, is laughing to the bank right now. They have infiltrated our society and see America exactly is where they want it. They are threatening people like me in this country speak up against the communism. We are traitors. We are counter-revolutionary, or we are extremists. Whatever. Our media rhetorics are consistent with Chinese official talking points. It's so sad. Why are they doing that?
What do you think, Deuce? You there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. Uh, I think it goes what she's saying. With everything that's taking place, man. The rights things that we know, they're they're undermining everything. They're taking everything away from us little by little. And I think it all what she's saying all goes with what's happening with the war right now too. And looking at how Russia and China is aligning each other, and you know how they keep having these secret meetings and things of this nature. And yeah, I mean, but I do also feel like a lot of what's taking place, as well, is the fault of our own country, our leaders, the leaders of our country, because of the greed and them, being controlled and going against what the founding fathers put in place. Like they totally go against our, Declaration of Independence. The Constitution in this country. They violate it every day. And it's like if they're blatantly violating it, then what rights do we truly have as citizens in this country?
Well, and most of the laws are in place. The Constitution and all is to keep them in check, not us. We're the
Yeah,
free people. They're the ones that have the responsibility to us, and that's the part that I think that because you know we've allowed civics not to be taught to our children, and that where they understand the process throughout their life instead of they get 18, oh now I can vote, okay, and then they're on the journey starting then on what what's possible, what's impossible, or you know, because a lot of it is them being instilled with fear. Like right now, a lot of things that they're telling these kids is like to really kind of make them docile. I mean, regardless, I mean, because I mean, I don't really want to, put it on the one group because it's, a lot of things, but with the whole movement of the LGBT puts other children into where put children's minds, people's minds, period, in a state that where they don't have to deal with reality. And you know, like I said, I mean, I could really care less what people choose for their lives. If that's what they choose, okay, cool. But we do need to have um, we can't drop our standards like we as a country. I mean, as a people, if this is like what you want individually, okay, that's fine. But as a country, we have to have certain things that we stand for and that we won't stand for. And we
and
have to.
well, I feel like when they started this whole we're gonna separate church and state, when they started taking God out of the equation, and now you
Yeah.
have these evil motherfuckers that's trying to take the role of God, that's trying to fulfill what the Bible states. You know, like bro, like it's turmoil. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they're trying to fulfill the Bible. You got the Bill Gates of the world, Fauci's and the rest of these motherfuckers that they're not God, bro. Like, we got away from that, and by them doing that, subsequently, society has gotten away from it. There is not God in anything anymore. If you say amen, brother, or you say God bless you to somebody, nowadays they look at you like this fucking Bible thumper. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's
Yeah.
no, and then we got away from love in this country, bro. Like, yes, the country, yeah, okay, I do with the racism and the prejudice and things that existed in this world, but beyond that, bro, there was communities around this country. There was people that went far beyond that bullshit. We led with love. We took care of each other in the communities. We stood up for one another. We stood
Bro,
as a whole. And we
bro,
don't anymore. And they don't even allow us to talk about the the Declaration of Independence and shit like that anymore, because it clearly states that we are to stand up as citizens. We are to take charge against hostile governments, which that's what we are faced with right now in our country.
tyrannical,
We are,
tyrannical.
yeah, tyrannical government. We are supposed to stand up and overthrow them. We have the right as citizens, but they're fear mongering people, you know, and most people are afraid. But like people say, "Oh, that was a waste. That was totally crazy. What happened back in January and this and that, bro." I think we need to fucking do this type of shit because it's time that we take back control of our country, bro. Because we're losing. We've placed our lives so casually in their fucking hands, and we're dying at an all-time high. May not be
Bro,
physically, but emotionally, mentally, like we're dying, bro.
bro,
Well, I gotta push back on a little bit of what you said because the part where you said the separation of church and state, I think that the separation of church and state was something that needed to be done. That is a good thing because you look
what
at
was the
the
purpose of it?
Taliban. Look at the Taliban running Afghanistan right now. It's completely religious. There's no separation of church and state, and that's what kind of situation you have when you don't have a separation of church and state.
I would have to push back on that because I mean I think it's the form of government that they have, and when you're trying to enforce a different type of government on someone that doesn't want it, that's what you get. See, I mean, because I mean, the you want to say like Iraq, Iran, like those Middle Eastern countries are more of a theocracy than they are republics or the democracies. So like, and that's us trying to tell others how they should live, and we wouldn't dare allow anybody to come and do that to us. So it's the thing about that is like those women of those countries or the even whoever in those countries, because I'm sure the men can get their issue too, but we hear mostly about the women who suffer there. I mean, bro, that's not our business.
Well,
When they come over and start doing things in our country or whatever, because hopefully those women, if something, come if they need to get away or get out, we have asylum for different reasons. But first of all, like we got to be able to like certain things are is our business, some things are not, and we just got to accept that.
I agree with that, but what would we have a democracy if there wasn't
We don't
no
have a no.
separation? If there
We don't
was no
have no fucking
separation,
democracy though.
well, a semblance of one. Will we have a semblance of a democracy if there was
It's
no
it's a
separation?
democratic republic.
So we would we have a democratic republic if there wasn't a separation of church and state? Because you
Yes.
have people here in the United
Hey,
States who worship in different ways, and we
can I ask you
That
a
are
question?
friendly
Can
to
I ask
that.
y'all a question?
no,
And I,
that's
I
that's
get
not
I
true.
get your point. I get your point, Chuck. I understand y'all educating me here. Yeah, I get y'all point. But what's wrong with starting the day off in class, you know, and you pick the teacher, make it a fun thing and pick a different student every morning. If they want to participate or if they don't have to. But what's wrong with leading off with prayer? Bro, I'm telling you, dude, when we said a prayer every morning in school, schools were a lot better. You
Yeah,
know what
but
I'm
is it a
saying?
Christian
People,
prayer? Would they
it
accept the
doesn't
A
Muslim
prayer, a
prayer?
prayer, a prayer is a prayer,
Or
and I think that because I mean, if we're speaking English in every language, and we say a prayer that's in English, it doesn't. I mean, whether because I mean, all Christians don't speak uh Arabic or Aramaic or any of those things. I mean, in most cases, whatever we're doing is in English. So if we say in a prayer, look, we can choose to say a prayer of and learn everybody the different prayers if you want one day a Islamic prayer, one day a Christian prayer, one day
but that
another
is
day
but that Islamic prayer is not gonna be in English, bro, because that's not how it works. They
well I
don't do
hear
the prayer in English.
it's all
It's done in Arabic.
it can be translated, but
but,
that's
but,
what I mean. That's
but
that's
my
the
thing
thing.
is, we took that shit away, right? Or the government took that away. And look at what's taking place. Look at what they took that away and look at what they're sliding in. and look at what they're forcing on our children, the ones that are supposed to be the leaders, at some, and you know it's like the shit is crazy, bro. Like they took all of that away, and it's like now you have these kids in schools that are just fighting amongst each other. There's no respect, there's no love, nobody stands up. Instead they pull their
Well,
phones out, they take, a video. Like, to me, it's like, what's wrong with that? I feel like, bro, when
well,
we led
I,
with
I
love and a prayer, man, we were so
I
much
I
better
would agree
off,
with you,
you know.
Deuce, but it just couldn't be only Christian prayers, and I think that that's all that they would accept here in the United States. If, like you
no.
said, they picked a different kid in the class and let him lead with a prayer at the beginning of the day, I think it would be perfectly fine if one
Well,
day it was a Muslim, another day it
Sure.
was a Hindu, if another
They
well,
day it was a Buddhist,
yeah.
and
Well,
they
well,
they
go all the
they
way down
banned
the list.
banned they banned
well,
actual prayer itself from schools in 1962. This is not a new thing.
well. My question is more so about what was so bad about the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
had
just
no problem
like
with them removing under God out of it.
well, I mean, either way, it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, because we're talking about a minority that is upset about those things, and if they're not down with it, they don't have to participate, and that's the part. Like, like just like we don't have to force people to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Not just saying that the Pledge of Allegiance is like like I'm just wondering the idea because I'm just saying like as far as the breakdown of you know of the government and what it's supposed to stand for because a lot of it is misconceived of you know what it really came from or what it's really
Remember,
was really about.
remember,
I
under God was also added to the Pledge of Allegiance. It wasn't always in there.
Well, I have all kinds of problems with the Pledge of Allegiance. And if y'all look at North Korea and North Korea is doing their Pledge of Allegiance, then you're gonna have all kinds of problems with that. You know what I'm saying? So what is the difference between North Korea doing a Pledge of Allegiance than
Well,
one here in the United
but
States?
but you know why you have an issue with the Pledge of Allegiance? It's because we've been lied to about our history, like the what we believe about this country. Most of a lot of it is just not true, which would change your mind about the words that's actually in those in the songs
Well, what
or
I'm saying is those people saying the Pledge of Allegiance in North Korea, everybody outside of North, not everybody, but the United States people are going to say these people are brainwashed and he's brainwashing these people and forcing them to do this thing, to pledge their allegiance to Kim Jong Un or whatever, you know.
okay.
So what's the
Well,
difference between that and what doing it here in the United States?
well,
It's the same.
mind control. There's nothing wrong with mind control.
Probably
It's
things
just when
like
people
I devote
manipulate.
myself to perpetual glory of the free nation. Well, go
Uh,
ahead. I was just using some quotes from the
well,
Korean
my
pledge,
thing,
but
yeah, my thing about it is that both of those countries have different beliefs and governmental structure. I think that if those people believe in what they're saying, they should be very much welcome to say it. And I think even for us here, it should be the same. We agree with the country that we're in. I'm pretty sure if there's anything you plead, there's something like you don't belong here, you don't like they'll find a way to get you somewhere else that you might fit in better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, see, that's a problem because I'm saying, and what about all of the students that don't agree with the words that are in the Pledge of Allegiance here in the
Okay,
United States?
okay, they don't have to participate, and guess what? They have the right to create one of their own. And if it's a problem, I mean, because my thing is okay, maybe we should be more what you call it, in the case like that, being segregated, I guess, because for those people who have that issue, at least they could be around the people that they, agree more with, and they can have, say whatever pledge they want to say. Because I mean, overall, it's about, the individual feeling whole, or even having, or at least where our government can work more, like work better for the diverse country that it's supposed to be.
Yeah, well, I think it's about tolerance for diversity and diversity
Yeah.
related to religions and so forth. So when Kaepernick kneeled during the national
Mhm.
anthem, that was a
Yes.
big deal. It ended his career
Okay.
because people felt like it was unacceptable for him to kneel while they were doing the national anthem because you're
Uh
supposed
huh.
to stand and put your hand over your heart.
Well, and that's all. Of course, that's a big political stunt, but at the same time, all right. Um, maybe that's something that we need to have a bigger discussion about than to just everybody get angry because they didn't like how he did it, or and then we don't like the way they handled how what they did of handling his issue. Like I mean, it's kind of just goes in circle and is just pushing and putting more oxygen on the fire. So it's like at some point, if we're really as diverse as we say, because I mean, most people don't know that the United States, well, not well, I can't say the United States, but America was more of an Islamic state than it was Christian. Like, I mean, that's where the war began. Like, that's how the Christians end up over here was because of the fight with the, with the
Well,
Islam.
my argument is that in North Korea, if you kneeled during their national anthem, they might really just cut your head off or something. Like you might get disappeared. You're gonna have harsh um results from that. And how different is that here in the States? Do y'all not see the comparison there? Do y'all
Well,
not see the
I hear what you're saying, but um, it's not that, and I think that's one of the things that we have to stand up for, so it doesn't become that. Like the whole idea, everything that woman's saying in her statement is, I feel wholeheartedly because I mean, yeah, people have differences, they have whatever, but this is my home, your home. I mean, anybody that's been living here, like this is our home, so we have the right to have the peace, but we also have to have the understanding that we're not, I can't push what I want and I feel on everyone. But there's certain boundaries that we can't cross if we want to continue the freedom that we have here.
Well, you are pushing it on everyone. If you force them to stand for the national anthem and if you force them to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Nobody forced anybody to do anything. They might have been upset, but they didn't go out on the field and stand his ass up and make him put his hands and where it's supposed to be and all.
Well, they
No,
just
bro.
blackballed him from the NFL.
And they have the right to do that. But guess what? They paid him.
The
Like I
NFL
mean, that's
didn't.
His career was kind of already on the down,
I
and
would
it
say
was
I
kind
would
of a
agree with
political
that too.
stunt that
But
he pulled to try to
it
to
was
get that
it was
done.
it was an
And
inside
nobody
job.
still
That's
wants him to
all.
play for him. I mean,
They didn't want him to play
I
for
mean,
him
I wa-
before that.
I watched that stuff going before it happened. I watched him doing that stuff 2, 3 different games before he finally got asked what he was doing. It was bait, man. He was trying to
And
find a
we
way to
fell for a
become
lot of
relevant because his career was over.
yeah.
I don't
I would
believe
say
that.
so too. I believe it.
No.
I have to go you know with Doc on that one
I'm not
because
s- I'm not saying that both possibilities can't exist at the same time, but
huh.
I'm sorry, he didn't have a thing to say about any kind of racial anything the whole time he was growing up with them white people that adopted
Well,
him until he
well,
went to
no.
college and started messing around with some of the radical groups in college. And then all of a sudden, he becomes, you know, I
And
mean,
it just
I'm
so
I'm not
happens that
saying
this
that
is.
like I say, I'm not saying bad. I'm not going to talk bad against him because I don't know his motivations. I
I'm gonna
just
say it like this.
know the
Oh,
timing, and I don't think that it was what it's 100% him doing it. Like I say, I think he's trying to generate publicity to save
well,
or transition his career into something else.
He
look,
was
I'm gonna
he
tell you
was
to
trying
look at
to
whole.
create publicity for a cause, to bring this cause to the forefront. He had a what do you call it, a platform he didn't have before. Once he was in the NFL, he had a platform to be able to bring awareness. That's what you do as an activist, drawing attention to
What
the
has he
topics
been
that you
active
want.
on? What has he been active on other than what he did on the football field?
He's been active this whole time, bro. I could
Oh,
pull up all kinds of shit.
he started being an activist about his second year in college after he got into some radical that bent him really in an anti-white situation.
This dude has been
Or
doing all
excuse
And
me,
kinds of
that
stuff.
doesn't even make
anti-white
sense with his
the
mom
proper
being
word.
white. But I mean,
Anti-white
that's I
is
mean,
not the no. Both
huh?
of the parents that adopted him, where he had been living, he was raised by white parents in a rich neighborhood. He never had anything to do with
Okay, I
activism at
thought he was mixed.
all until his second year in college.
He's been doing all kinds of stuff, man. He's been building
Uh,
schools in Africa. I mean, we
Well,
could pull up a.
let me say this.
It's
Let me
easy to
say
look
this.
it up.
All right,
we
that's
can pull
fine.
up a lot
Let
of
me say
stuff that
this
he's done
though.
since he knelt. But what did he do up
Well,
until then?
it's ironic that he happens to be a part of a fraternity, the Boule, the people who that is involved with the Boule side of you know the Freemasonry, and they have always found ways to try to control a narrative to sell to those who are not quite as astute, shall I say? So I don't believe him, and his activism, and I mean, look, you support him as much as whatever you want, but I really believe that it was a stunt, and there's nothing. I don't think there's anything real about him.
And I don't think that you know much about him. Just like everybody else, they just know about him kneeling and talking about he was a mediocre football player. They showed that workout that he did, and it was great. He should have been in the NFL. There was plenty of players who was
Not great enough,
on the
not
field
great enough to get back
But
in the
but but
NFL.
but it doesn't
because
matter
of the
if somebody doesn't
politics.
want you. But if they don't want you, what you can? I mean, there's a lot of great people in different places, but
Thing is,
their
he's on.
team. Everybody don't need you. You know what
Go
I'm saying?
ahead.
And there's other people that's just as good, if not better than you. So I mean,
And there was plenty that wasn't as good as him that got to play.
Dude, he was ranked over 16th at the time. He was on his way out. They weren't going to renew his contract already.
He would have
He
got picked
did
up.
this. Hey, after the NFL changed and everybody's now kneeling and nobody stands anymore because nobody has the balls to stand anymore. Um, they still won't take him back.
Because of the politics.
no,
You
it's because
know,
they don't want him in the first place.
the whole NFL are now kneeling and now demeaning people who don't kneel, people that stand, and he's still not good enough to get back in.
I mean, I
But
don't
I
think
don't.
I think a lot of people are
I
not
don't
realizing how backwards our world is now, just because they've gotten so used to all of these things that is like against like it. I don't know. I really don't get how. Because I mean, regardless, your opinion on Kaepernick is what it is, and so is mine. and you know that should be fine either way. So I mean, you trying to convince me that I'm wrong for seeing it the way I do is a part of it's almost like what everybody else is doing. Like I have my opinion. That's how I feel about it, and that's that. But you know, if you think differently, now it's like, oh, you shoot, you not black. You not, you know, like you don't understand the struggle. You don't. No, I understand the struggle. I just think that the bullshit that they're doing
But
is not. I just don't think that it's really real. I mean, just
My
Uh,
only
I,
concern
I, I complete,
was less people were coming to the bar to watch football.
and that was the issue, that people
I
weren't
was getting
upset
paid by
about
people
the
watching
politics.
football, and people are like, I'm. Now the thing is, after it was done once or twice, people got tired of hearing it. Then they got tired of watching the NFL guys one at a time, all start kneeling. I'm not even
yeah,
when we
because a
talk
bunch of
about
a
kneeling
bunch of them were
for
just trying to get fit
the
in.
whole
And that's the thing. See, and
pandemic
that's
thing with everybody being forced to kneel and apologize for their whiteness.
listen, bro.
It's a
Like a lot of that
bandwagon
stuff.
now.
Exactly, and see, and that's the thing that I think a lot of people are missing is that after a while, like okay, when he was doing it and then he done got kicked out, now it's like okay, they made it acceptable enough so that people can start doing it. And now if you don't like, you don't see how like that's like all like mind play. Like this is mind control to where like okay, look, they're letting you know who has the power, and you know you're falling right into the trap of okay, you're siding with one thing, but you forget that this is no longer activism. This is allowism. You know what I'm saying? They're not. They're still controlling the whole narrative of how things are gonna be. Because even when it came down to Dallas, when they were doing it, like at one point, whatchamacallit, old boy say, anybody kneels, you done. And then after a while, they went and discussed it with each other and looked at the different back and forth and what, like, showing that, oh well, maybe you're not as racist as you really are. So let's do this. So now they can come together and they're doing the same thing that somebody else is getting blackballed for, but it's you know acceptable now. Like, bro, this is mind control at its greatest.
I agree with that. Let's play Trump's
So
clip. Check it out.
But under Joe Biden, American patriots are being arrested, held in captivity like animals. Look at what's happening in Washington. And I will tell you, Marge Ellington is the expert. She's been to that prison many times. There is nobody that has described what's happening in that prison. It's a hellhole. And these are soldiers and policemen and firemen and medics and doctors in a couple of cases. These are people that shouldn't have been there. And when you look at the Tucker Carlson tapes from 2 weeks ago, and you see so many things that turned out to be false, very important what Tucker's done, what Sean has done, what Laura did. Laura did a piece last night that was incredible. But under Joe Biden, American patriots are being and held. Look, Washington, and I will tell you, Marjorie Taylor Greene is the expert. She's been to that.
What do y'all think?
I think it's very important to be able to update your information without bias because for the longest I know I was like I don't know, this stuff don't make sense. To me a lot of the stuff that makes sense, these different people that was in play, the few people that was actually arrested, like I mean it's a lot of things that didn't add up to me. And just me questioning the fact that so do you mean to tell me that Jan 6 didn't happen? It is like, well, I don't know, things just don't feel right with it. And I was slammed for a year about me not being so sure, and I'm a Trump supporter, this, that, and the other. Okay, if I am, I mean, I don't know what I've actually supported, but other than just me appreciating truth, when this video comes out, now people are angry that that okay, because you got to realize that you were lied to, or that because everything that they claimed to happen didn't happen like they said. Like they control the narrative. Like, why are you upset with people like me when it's people who actually committed crimes against you in your own government by lying? Your media is lying to you, or at least not giving you the full story of what really happened, because they want to control how you believe this whole situation happened. Like, y'all not showing up that day knowing that this was coming about or whatever. Like, y'all almost had a plan to deal with it, because guess what? Those people had a permit. Those people had, like, all kinds of things happen that should let people know that, okay, this, something wasn't totally right about it. And then when they're shown what more of an accurate, or at least more of what happened that day, uh why is there no outrage on that? You know what I'm saying? As long as Trump was the bad guy, everybody was up in arms and this, that, and the other. But now that he may not be the bad guy that they tried to make him out to be, now everybody's quiet. Or either, then why they showing, because there was, like, some of the politicians was like mad that Tucker is showing, people getting escorted around and all these different. It's like it wasn't the same outrage that it was. Like, they even show people climbing the walls as if it was a practice thing, like it was like a something that was planned. And it's just, bro, I don't get it. Like, are we that under control? MK Ultra, like, I really believe that a lot of the actual everyday people are MK Ultra, because they watch TV just that much, and those symbols, those lights, the commercials, like, everything has played a part into their psyche, to where when something that makes sense comes about, it drives them nuts. They don't know how to deal with truth anymore.
Well, I agree that a lot of people have a problem with admitting that they were lied to, because then it makes them feel stupid or whatever. They're like, "Oh, I was stupid. I was lied to," so they want that, you know.
Yeah, and I got a friend that argued with me
Um,
that won't even talk to me right now because
but
he might have to deal with that.
But the argument that it was a peaceful protest is not something I can condone. And you can take bits and pieces of any videos to lead it to any narrative that you wish.
There was only
Dude,
one person that
we just
died.
went through 2 years of peaceful protests. We know what peaceful protests look like.
And that wasn't
And
peaceful.
that means none of them in the last 2 years before that, nor was January 6th a peaceful protest.
I agree.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree.
I wanted to clarify that just
have?
in case someone actually thought I meant I wasn't being sarcastic when I was saying it was a peaceful protest.
Well, you got me, because I'm right now I'm still trying to recall where
They breached the building through barriers. That's not peaceful.
Where's there proof that they did that?
It's the video. They show them
going-
actually breaking into the courthouse in one of them. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that was done by some people, but there's 90% of the people, 98% of the people that were there just kind of walked through after the doors were open. They were on a tour.
But bro, it was never shut off to people. There was like You didn't see the footage, like all of the footage that came out with Tucker Carlson, because
No,
they
yeah,
showed
that absolutely happened. But also, them breaking through the door, the crowd breaking into there, was also real. The thing is, the Carlson video just reveals the fact that it wasn't an all riotous out to kill. It wasn't a crowd out for blood, venge, control, an insurrection,
exactly.
and an attempted a coup. That's what it shows. It proves it beyond a doubt. But at the same time, we can't say it was a peaceful protest because they did break in.
Bro, there's been quote unquote peaceful protests where people has gotten injured and hurt, and the people who got
Killed.
injured and hurt
They
is
fire on a police station with cops inside.
okay, but we're talking about
They set fire to a
there's
police.
things there's BLM BLM, if you want to call that, like what they considered a BLM protest, where way more damage happened there, but nothing happened from it. No legislation, no nothing changed because of it. But when it came down to the Capitol building,
Absolutely.
and so I mean, I think that this, we call it, like, I need to call bullshit on bullshit. And that's the thing that I'm talking about. Like, you can't be more upset about something that, I mean, especially when it wasn't nearly as bad as uh things that we actually watched on TV as the shit was going down, and then we get little pieces of something
Yeah.
where they're able to control. So I mean, that's my point right there. Mainly is that we get upset and angry about the things that they tell us we should be angry and upset about, and we
No,
and we and we're and we're
I'm
under the and we're
agreeing
under the
with
spell.
you,
Okay, because I'm
but
saying
I'm
we've
agreeing
fallen
with you
under
that it was all bad.
Okay, and
But
that's
yeah,
fine.
if
But
they're going to give
but
breaks and if they're
but
giving breaks and stuff
J6,
to all the people from the 2 years before, the tourists and the
even
people that weren't really, nefarious intent, then they need to do that on January 6th too. It shouldn't matter that it just was
but
the other
but
side.
listen, one person died and one person went to jail. That's what you call like an insurrection, like you, bro, like, really,
No, there's
like,
there's hundreds of people. There's over 100 people in jail right now over that.
Lots of people, and they're still prosecuting
Over
more and more people.
January 6th. There's upwards of 1,000
uh,
more indictments coming. Anyone that was in the building that they can identify, they're going to try to put federal trespassing charges on. They do that. I want them to
And
go back
I
the last
I
2
don't really
years.
get.
I want them to identify.
I don't really think that that's gonna happen. But let's. I mean, I'm looking around. I'm waiting to see. But I would
Dude,
definitely like
Buffalo
to
guy
get a
has
good.
been in federal prison.
No, I know the Buffalo. No, I'm talking about, because I mean, yes, I heard about him, and he's going away for a long time, or it's supposedly. But I'm talking about J6,
Oh, he
the
was
thing
told
that
he
we've
was
been
the
lied
face
to
of
about.
it.
How was he the Buffalo guy, the one that killed the people in the grocery store? Or are
That
we
is
talking
why
about something
the
different?
judge told him you were the face of a violent insurrection of something or another, and you're going to face, and then when he was sentencing him.
So the same guy that killed the people in Buffalo was a part of the J6 crowd
No,
too.
no, no, no,
no,
no.
that's not what he's
I'm
talking
saying
about.
the
He's talking about the
Buffalo
guy with the
Shaman.
horn, the guy with the horns and
The Buffalo Shaman. The one on the Tucker
The
videos.
the shaman, yeah,
The Buffalo
bro.
Shaman, yeah.
Say,
yeah,
bro.
that's because
Oh,
his
okay.
picture was the main picture after it happened. Like he became a
Well,
meme.
but that's the
Well,
thing,
no,
bro.
they
Say, bro,
they
he was
focused every
staged,
footage on him.
bro. That dude was
He
staged,
was
bro.
going for the YouTube videos for his own channel.
Y'all can't see that this thing was staged, bro.
Let's move
Okay.
on to this topic right here about the crypto guys, people getting in trouble. I'm sure you heard about it. Lindsay Lohan, Jake Paul, a bunch of big names. Akon, um,
I knew he
are
was gonna
they're in
get into some
trouble
shit.
related.
But
Yeah, have you heard
relate.
this? What I'm talking about?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't. That's why
I don't fuck
I'm
with
all ears.
Akon no more anyway, man. Fuck
Yeah, well,
Akon.
it's a whole list of
The shit that
celebrities
he
who
been
were
saying, bro.
it's a
Okay,
whole list of
so
celebrities that are
okay, but
involved in
what
this.
happened? What are they doing? What did they do?
They were freaking selling these crypto, saying that they were worth something. Well, really the celebrities were just used as faces to help because they had major social media platforms, and they were
Yeah.
paid to like endorse
To
these.
promote
Yeah,
the different coins.
kind of
Okay, but
like
look,
what actors and do.
yeah, like yeah, when you see them doing a razor blade commercial, that's the same thing.
well they
Something that's
well they're in trouble. Let me play some of this.
well. Hold on, because I want us to hear this, but I just want to say this to y'all up front because this is a play on your emotions as well because especially people who are not financially savvy and don't really understand these different markets when it's coming to crypto that's going to be the cash cow like that's going to be the money of the future and the our government is going to run a psyop, and that's most likely what's happening here to make you believe that if you go with a decentralized platform of finance, that you're going to get had. And as you can see, a centralized government has been having us for many decades, or well over a century, well,
Well, these
almost
coins
a century.
were basically worthless, and the FCC came down on them, and now all of these celebrities are catching charges for being involved in it.
Well, and I guess like that is potential because that is something that can happen. But what I'm trying to tell people on a bigger picture is like you still need to do your own due diligence on understanding what's going on, because the government wants to wants to be able to control your access to any and everything that is purchasable. And if you allow that, they can shut you off in any moment. So if you invest in what they have been doing and knowing how much of a criminal enterprise is that we've been going on, it's not someone that we can truly say we can trust with our lives. You need to definitely look at, because I know most people don't want to be responsible for themselves or their all of their business affairs, but this is what it's coming around to in order for you to not be stuck and under the thumb and control of this government or any government. You need to learn that money system for yourself.
Well, I'm saying a lot of these coins have been tied into all kinds of criminal activities. Look at what happened with FTX. And what is the one with the little pieces of art that you can sell and stuff like that? That's
NFTs.
the NFTs. Same thing. You got the money laundering going on and stuff that's not really worth anything, and people are getting ripped off. It's a
Okay.
scam.
Well, and I hear you, and that's why I'm telling you that you need to learn about these things and put a common sense approach to it, because at this point, because if you don't understand, you're going to get used just like you did before. Like most people know, they can they get a paycheck, they can put it in the bank, they can they get X amount of insurance, They can go withdraw a little bit here, there, whatever. They understand.
Can't you
those
just buy
those-
gold and silver and it'd be worth just as much as a fucking crypto coin? I think a gold coin right now
No.
costs more than one Bitcoin.
Well, the governments have been buying up all of the gold. They're not in circulation. You can't even get your hands on this stuff.
No, you can. I've been buying a lot of silver myself, but because the gold is a little more to get one coin than I can with multiple. But the thing is like when you're talking about investments, you can't just be narrow-minded. You got to be diverse. You got to have a
I
diversified.
know the best
Uh,
investment to make.
There's no
Man.
best investment to make. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, I
You
know
have
it for sure one that got El Chapo sitting on top right now. Me and Doc, we finna invest in it.
El Chapo is locked up. His son too.
Hey, you know what? I like your
Hey.
mindset because really, honestly, shit. When it comes down to it, I mean, you want to be able to deal with markets that are, hard to fall or will never fall because that's you. You probably right. That's one that you could. I mean, you could lose on it one way or another. But my main thing I need people to really understand is that crypto is also a medium of exchange. It is not something tangible, but it is something that you can control on your own or it's going to be controlled for you. So when we're talking about domestic or international, because the U.S. dollar is not going to be the international accepted anywhere, and even the USDT, United States Dollar Tether, which is the crypto that is being set up for the coming future. Because not to say not to deal with it, because you can use it, but I would definitely say diversify and have other means because.
Well,
Bro,
the yuan might be something to invest in. Russia is using the yuan to
ruble-
buy stuff, and
So,
the
yeah.
BRICS are coming along, and they're the peace deals with Saudi Arabia and Iran. All of this
Yeah.
stuff it leads to them talking about buying and selling their oils with using the yuan.
Yeah,
Let
and
me play
I
this.
mean, I knew that
Yeah.
was coming. I'm sure most of us knew that was coming, but
Y'all see how Russia is paying off debt for countries in Africa and also sending forgiving college students debt in Africa. Russia's doing this and sending people to school for free.
Yeah, we talked about it a bit yesterday. Let me play this. Let me play this. Check it.
Crypto
All
is
right.
going to crash and could take your savings with it. In June 2022, Bitcoin dropped over 30% to its lowest value since, and Ethereum, the second most valuable cryptocurrency, fell about 35%. Terra, a so-called stable coin, also collapsed when its underlying cryptocurrency, Luna, lost 97% of its value in just 24 hours, apparently destroying some investors' life savings. The implosion trigger a crypto meltdown that erased $300 billion in value across the market. As cryptocurrency prices plummeted, Celsius Network, an experimental cryptocurrency lender, announced it was freezing withdrawals due to extreme market conditions. Now, these crypto crashes and freezes have fueled worries that the complex crypto banking and lending system is on the brink of ruin. But this crash shouldn't surprise anyone familiar with the industry or anyone who remembers the financial crashes of 1989 and 2008. Let me explain. In the murky world of crypto decentralized finance, known as DeFi, it's hard to understand who provides money for loans, where the money flows, or how easy it is to trigger currency meltdowns. There are no standards for issues of custody, risk management, or capital reserves. There are no transparency requirements. Investors often don't know how their money is being handled. Deposits are not insured. It's a Ponzi scheme. Like all Ponzi schemes, getting rich depends on how many other investors follow you into it. until somebody's left holding the worthless crypto coin. Why isn't this market regulated? Well, follow the money. The crypto industry is pouring huge amounts into political campaigns. It has hired scores of former government officials and regulators to lobby on its behalf, including 3 former chairs of the Securities and Exchange Commission, 3 former chairs of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, 3 former U.S. senators, and even former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers. In the past, cryptocurrencies kept rising by attracting new investors and big Wall Street money, along with celebrity endorsements.
What do you think? Are you in?
You know what? I'm in.
But all Ponzi schemes topple eventually, just like the Wild West finances of the 1920s. Back then, Americans were getting rich by speculating on shares of stock, as other investors followed them into these risky assets, pushing their values ever upward. When the toppling occurred in 1929, it plunged the nation and the world into the Great Depression. That crash resulted in the Glass-Steagall Act, signed into law by Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1933. Glass-Steagall separated commercial banking from investment banking, putting an end to the giant Ponzi scheme that had overtaken the American economy and led to the Great Crash of 1929. It took a full generation to forget that crash and allow the forces that caused it to repeat their havoc. By the mid-1980s, as the stock market soared, speculators noticed they could make even more money if they gambled with other people's money, as speculators did in the 1920s. They pushed Congress to deregulate Wall Street, arguing that the United States financial sector would otherwise lose its competitive.
Freezing up. Froze.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened either, but I tell you what, he's not given the full understanding, where people can really understand, because yes, the crypto market has fallen a great deal, but we have to always ask why. And when you can see what actually was happening in our government and all of, because I mean, most of it started falling when Biden got in office, and that's because just different markets were off, different people, of fear, because people wanted to be able to have something tangible.
Because all that we had 2 years of pandemic money coming, and a lot of people sitting around with nothing to do were playing around with crypto. Crypto got really popular. Tesla, quite a few companies got really big during that time. And as soon as the real world came back and said, hey, time to go back to work, you got something, you don't have all that free money anymore. Bam, crypto and several other markets started crashing down. Once all the amateurs pulled out of the game, it went back to normal. Because it shot up over half, and it only dropped about 30%.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I forget what it got up to, like 50,000 or something like that. So
Bitcoin was at 65 and Ethereum was at 73. 65,000 for Bitcoin and 7,300 for Ethereum.
Yeah, okay. But that would mean that it dropped, because it's right now at 28. So that's still, that would say 50%. So the numbers are all for one, but
there's been another drop since he's talking about.
But it's not because of crypto. It's because of our supply chain. It's because of the things that's been dropped out of our market. Like, it's not because of the crypto itself. It's because of the reliability of our markets. Like, that's where, like, when people start questioning what's what and this, that, and the other, it becomes a bunch of scared money. And that's even with those people who are, because they're, even though they had massive gains, like, they want to actualize them. So when they actualize these gains, it's taken out of one market, but it's going somewhere else. That's the part that, is unseen. So when you really, looking at the whole thing, you can't blame it on crypto. And if you understand that crypto is like one of the smallest things of that sector because the technology of blockchain is what's really the bulk of the value. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna see right now, like it's to scare everybody off. Oh, look what it did! And like, bro, I promise you, if you like, the earlier you get into it and you can stick around, because it's the long game for this one. It's not one of those, oh, just here, take a look. On those little altcoins, yeah, you can go in and out on those, but the major hitters, the the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, um, there was another one that was right underneath it, but I'm gonna take those two mainly, because Ethereum is gonna be probably the one that's gonna be utilized more. It's because Bitcoin is more of a like one of those things like the gold, like it will be like
It was first.
well, it's not just that it's first, but it's the what's the terminology?
Jake
It's
and Neo have all
it's platinum in its own class, and then Ethereum is like gold because it's the standard now that they're using for all the other blockchains.
Exactly, and that's the thing. It's gonna have, because it's like
calling that the gold standard.
I guess you can say that, because I mean I was looking at gold being the top tier and Ethereum being silver. I guess you could say is what the way I was looking at
Fair
it.
enough.
But either way, however you want to do it.
Yes, you are absolutely correct with your analogy.
Yeah.
Let me play this.
all been
All right, go ahead.
charged for the way they've promoted cryptocurrencies. The US regulator, the SEC, also charged 5 other celebrities: musicians Soulja Boy, Akon, Lil Yachty, and Austin Mahone, and adult actress Kendra Lust. The regulator says the celebs illegally promoted crypto coins TRX and or BTT without making clear that they were getting paid for it. Apart from Soulja Boy and Austin Mahone, the celebrities have each paid $400 grand to settle the charges. For those who settled, the case is over, but they haven't admitted or denied the allegations. The boss of the US regulator said this case shows the high risk investors face when crypto is promoted and sold without full disclosure. Jake Paul, Lindsay Lohan, and Neo have all been charged for the way they've promoted cryptocurrencies. The US regulator, the SEC, also charged 5 other celebrities.
Say, bro,
Nope,
and they're trying to blame these people for the faults of our government, because
that's a fair charge.
well, but all right, do you? I mean,
Okay.
how many people actually speak out and say that? Oh, okay, I'm,
Chaka, what rule do you have to
promoting-
follow if someone gives you a product to advertise on your show, even if you're doing it live? What do you have to do?
I have to say that I am promoting this product and I'm being paid to promote this product.
Do you?
I'm so glad
I
you
have
knew
to say
that.
that.
I'm so glad you knew that. I would be embarrassed if you didn't. It's a fair charge they
No,
caught,
I
'cause they didn't
stopped
say
shit.
they didn't say they were getting paid to promote it.
Okay.
I've
Well,
been
I don't know.
doing this for almost 2
one of those,
years
I'm one
now.
of those
So
simple people that I would assume that if somebody's promoting it, especially a star, that they're getting paid for it, or as they have, like some.
you can assume all you want, but they have
This
to.
this is
proclaim
this
it.
is the day of
Here's the thing. You can put a celebrity on there and you could be like, okay, I know they're getting paid for this shit, but when it comes down to the law, that's where they got them.
How many
That's
commercials?
just like you could be
How
doing
many
Okay.
something
commercials
or
actually
selling.
do that? I mean,
Man,
if you look at the
I-
small print and stuff like that, it actually says this is not a doctor, or these are paid endorsements. That labeling is actually going on TV commercials and stuff now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dude,
it
because
has
you
to
got
be
to
there.
remember,
when it
I've
comes
we
I've
down
have
to
seen
the
it.
law,
we have
bro,
to have
you have
safety
to say that.
warnings. We have to
I
have
have
safety
seen it.
levels.
I know.
My
I've
God,
seen it in
there's a
some
label
situations.
on your hair dryer that says "Do not use in shower."
Yeah,
Because
that's
it's
just like
media.
if you buy. That's just like if you buy, like, bro, you a simple person, and we understand to be cautious with a cup of coffee. But
The
why
thing
you
is,
think McDonald's have to put caution hot, hot liquid or,
Because
on
they
the
got
side of the cup
sued.
because they,
I know.
yeah.
okay,
This may
So
cause
that
okay, put it
it's
this
burns.
the
way. Think,
it's the
think of
same
how
thing.
stupid the average person is. Everybody knows that average person. You know how dumb they are, right? Just remember, half of the world
Half
is dumber than that.
dumber than that. That's George Carlin.
But you know what? I got a lawsuit that we can do a class action suit where
That's
I
true.
know that we can really get paid on. So
Hey, but I need y'all to stop talking about the dumb females. God damn it, that make me look good. You take that bitch
what?
on a $200 date, $100
Well,
date. Goddamn.
I want to play one more clip
They have
related to this
those?
because Tom Brady ass is in trouble.
How
Check
you
it.
get away with
You can
$100 date?
shit when she
You
done,
know
bro.
what?
You take her to Chili's. You can take her to any
I'm in.
restaurant that got
Oh,
commercials.
oh,
Larry Diggs, Naomi Osaka, and Steph Curry
I don't
are
like
among
those
the
places.
celebrity class action lawsuit of being part, quote, fraudulent scheme designed to take advantage of unsophisticated investors.
It's a safe and easy way to get in the crowd.
Yeah, I don't think so.
All stemming from their involvement in promoting crypto exchange FTX. FTX's founder was until recently the darling of the community. His company, once valued at more than $32 billion, is now seeking bankruptcy protection.
We're talking about
That was
the
a setup.
larger bankruptcies we've seen in a long time.
The FTX founder, also named in the lawsuit, resigned as CEO as his company collapsed. He did not reply to NBC's request for comment, but in a direct message exchange with a reporter wrote, F regulators, they make everything worse. We also did not hear back from representatives for celebrities named in the law for appearing in ads like this.
With FTX, I have everything I need to buy, sell, and trade crypto safely.
But the lawsuit calls FTX's platform a Ponzi scheme and says of the defendants, none performed any due diligence.
These celebrities all should have known that when they took this risk. If these are unregistered entities, they're looking at liability for all of the damages.
Bankman-Fried has been accused of moving billions in customers' funds without their permission to another one of his companies. His exchange then faced what was akin to a run on the bank, and now customers can't get their money out.
That money I had put aside for my granddaughter so I can use for Christmas, and now I have to figure out another way to do it.
The new lawsuit now calls for accountability of FTX's big investors. JC News, San Francisco.
Thanks for watching.
Tom Brady, freaking big names
Bro,
in trouble.
Man, but you know what though, bro?
Hey,
They talking about this
it's
shit,
a
but them
facade.
celebrities are gonna be protected. They're gonna be protected.
Yeah,
They're not gonna
say, bro.
face any lawsuit. They're not
This
gonna.
is
They're not gonna lose any money. The
this
dude
is
that owned
all
that company,
acting,
he's
bro.
gonna get a slap on the wrist because just think about the money that he probably threw into political campaigns and everything else. His company was worth 32 billion. He's gonna have to give up probably 5 billion of that 32. Like,
Say, bro.
let's just be real.
Listen. I'm here to tell y'all that this is all like the whole idea that this guy, the Friedman, whatever his name, fraud dude, whatever, this was set up by the government and everybody that was involved with it. You can tell, like, you really do the research on that business and the people who helped him put everything together was so that they could capture the minds and make people feel like we have to have government to control this money thing because otherwise we'll have to do it ourselves or this, that, the third. But the technology that's going to be running all of this, bro, like, that's why you really need to understand
Hey,
the
do y'all
technology
remember?
behind it because people,
Hey,
the banking system is not necessary anymore.
hey, Pat, this here, okay. Do you remember this is a little bit off topic, but kind of aligned with what was just played in that video about the owner of FTX? Do you remember the guy that came out back in like 2014, 2015 that did the big seminar about he built the first hydrogen cell truck semi truck Nikola, and U.S. Express had their name on it. They invested so much money into it. This guy made billions of fucking dollars. Come to find out, it was a fake. The truck that he had on stage that he said was completely, up and ready to roll truck. That was a lie. It was never ready to roll. It was actually plugged in underneath the stage. That's why he damn near fought the female reporter, the journalist who was there in the truck trying to touch shit. Uh, it was a big old Ponzi scheme like that, man. And you know what? That guy is now not facing any jail times anymore. All of the charges was dropped. He was bailed out by GM, General Motors. That's how they got the idea to come up and build the Hummer EV, the all-electric Hummer. Okay, they took over his factory and all that shit, bailed him out, paid his debt. He got a little money on the back end. This dude is still a fucking Ponzi scheme, and this dude, a fucking nobody, is now worth like $5 or $10 billion, and he screwed
Well,
all of these fucking companies around the world.
I hear you, and
You know,
just like that is very much possible in the economy, the money game that we're in now. It can happen in crypto as well. So I mean, we just have to be careful about who we're dealing with. We got to do our due diligence instead of just getting emotional about where we're going to put our money. Like that's the main thing that and we're entrusting other people in that, like they know something that, if you can know it for yourself, like that's like the biggest issue is that most people don't want to do the work. They just kind of just, oh well, this is the world that I'm gonna be living in. I gotta deal with it, or either they don't even see that a big change is about to come. I mean, and
yeah.
With the recession that's here, not coming, that's here, should really let a lot of people know. I mean, because the people that know that the transition is happening. So I mean, whether you
But I
have some
think people need
physical,
to be more smart with their crypto. If you're gonna be buying and trading crypto, stop using these fucking these platforms like Coinbase and FTX and
well,
Shiba Inu, all these different platforms,
what,
and
what,
just keep your fucking thumb drive. Download your blockchain to
yeah,
that thumb drive. That way you don't have to worry about you losing your fucking money.
well,
That
and
that's
that's
where
and
that's
and
just
that's
like back during COVID when shit went on the rise and people was trying to sell off some of their shares of Bitcoin and this and that,
yeah,
and Coinbase, the platform Coinbase, fucking plummeted. Something happened. They had some type of technical data error where people lost money. Millions of people lost money. But
well,
don't nobody fuck with Coinbase because they're backed by the US government. And that's fucked up because they did the same thing that this FTX shit is doing.
yeah,
Their money was froze for months. This happened during COVID, bro. During the fucking pandemic where people were out of work and everything, people were trying to get money from their shit. And
yeah,
that shit just fucking crashed. The whole platform crashed. So it's like, stop using these platforms, man. Go back to the way they did it when you first started doing it, bro. Keep your fucking thumb drive in your safe, in your closet, with
hmm
your blockchain downloaded on it. That way you're not losing your money.
yeah, a cold wallet.
Yeah.
That's what that's called. But and that's right. I mean, really, and learn how to use DeFi. I mean, a lot of these things is available to you, and they're saying, okay, these things are not protected, blah blah blah. But honestly, certain insurances don't have to exist if you're using it properly. As long as you don't lose your code, your series of words and things that attaches you to your account based on the technology of the blockchain, you really don't need it. You know what I'm saying? You don't need the insurance and stuff because you don't have somebody regulate, like somebody that's going in and changing laws about how the money is used and this, that, and the other. And then like your money increases based on how well it's doing. Like it's something that's going to progress over time. People just being uncertain about the economy that they live in is what's really making these, this thing drop and inflate and up and down right now. But I'm telling you, it's gonna be like I said, like this is gonna be the main source of how to mediate your money. I mean, ready for it or not, it's coming.
I want to do one more topic. So I can't stay long. My eyes are burning and I got to work all day. I worked a double today. I'm freaking exhausted. But this one is really interesting. I think it'll get y'all talking. Florida principal ousted after teaching Michelangelo's pornographic David sculpture. Okay. Now this posted this. It says a principal has been forced to resign after parents reported that their 6th grade students in Tallahassee, Florida were showing pornographic material. The pornographic material in question is Michelangelo's David, which is a sculpture. Hope Karaskila announced her resignation as principal of Tallahassee Classical School on March 20th after she was given the ultimatum to either quit or be fired following complaints from multiple parents over the incident. Karaskila told the Tallahassee Democrat that as part of the curriculum, the school is required to teach lessons on Renaissance art to 6th grade students. However, the principal also said that the school had recently created a protocol in which parents were notified ahead of time when students were being shown potentially controversial information. Karaskila told Huffington Post that due to a series of miscommunications, the letter informing parents of the Renaissance art lesson was never sent. According to Karaskila, one of the parents was point blank upset and felt her child should not be viewing those pieces. Another parent called it pornographic. Barney Bishop, the school board chair who issued the ultimatum, said that parental rights are supreme, and that means protecting the interests of all parents, whether it's 1, 10, 20, or 50, and that they didn't like the woke indoctrination that was going on. Michelangelo's David has been around for more than 500 years and is objectively considered a staple of art history. Okay, now I'm playing this because this is an example of how insane and ridiculous this whole woke, they're trying to sexualize my kids bullshit that is being done politically. Like, you can take your kids to these museums. I've taken my children to the National Museum of Fine Arts, and these same sculptures are there, and they don't have like little pickles covering up the private parts of the statues.
That's a eggplant.
Eggplant. So
to make things to put things on a level so we all have some basic agreement too. It's 6th grade, so they're 11, 12 years old.
No, I get it. I mean,
it's not being taught the sculpture of David. It's being taught Renaissance art, and the picture pops up. No pun intended, but it pops out. But and so I think it's good that we all understand that much at least. And this is Florida.
Yeah, no, I get it because I mean, my
Ron DeSantis.
My point of view on this.
Fun game. Google Florida man and in your birthday, and just read the first 3 headlines if you want a good laugh someday.
Yeah, but look, we're missing the point. Do y'all agree that this is absolutely ridiculous, over the top ridiculous?
I was about to give my point of view on it.
Go ahead.
Okay, now everybody that's been listening or knows me knows that I do have an issue with the over sexualizing of children. But I do believe that we can go too far when it comes down to what we consider sexualization. And this, in this instance, I would say that they are going a little too far. And you know, it's the content a lot of times and the way it's presented has a lot to do with it. And this being a statue is not some woman or some dude or whoever walking around naked, flaunting it around. It's, bro, I mean, it's, whatever the discussion is that goes around it, I guess could, maybe could change the situation. But overall, just based on what I'm hearing, I think that they are actually probably going too far with this.
So the principal lost her job. She got fired behind this. This is where we are today. And she was being woke. That's what they accused her of. Woke indoctrination of the children by showing this freaking Michelangelo fucking sculpture.
The way they use the whole woke thing is demonizing a segment of our cultural people. So I don't really like that whole wokeism stuff. But
asking where I work from. You feel me?
It is what it is. I guess. We got a new guest.
No, background chatter.
Oh, okay. But I think they're overdoing it. Regardless of how the terminology they're using with this wokeism stuff, because that just lets you know just how much people really
don't understand what the difference between woke and wokeness is.
Yeah, but I mean, hey,
woke is actually not bad, and I'm gonna agree to it. But the wokeness, I'm not on board with.
Well,
I identify.
I would say that they should have saved their energy on something that was more serious. When we're talking about these drag shows, that's for kids, and whether they're getting naked or nude or not. Some things are just not, good visuals for a young child. And I mean, I don't know. I think I might have sent some pictures where I show some of these things that they're doing, and it wasn't at a school, but still things that are available for children to see. But if a parent is taking their child to these events, I think that they are very much welcome to do so if that's what they want to teach their kid. I'm not taking mine, but
and you sent me an email earlier in the week, and I looked at it, and I looked at the titles, but I didn't have a time to actually look at the books and see what the content was in them. But that's what this is. It's the same thing. Because see, in this one, it was talking about how they were supposed to give the parents the
notice,
and that's what that was that you received. Some stuff that could possibly be controversial. So, but look, it could have been some. This is ridiculous. We were getting to this point where it's totally retarded, and
everything.
All the teachers are just indoctrinating the kids.
This is where we're having problem with, we're not going to use the law like that, so please pass it. And like me and Chaka were saying the other day, yes, that's how they're going to use the law. If they will.
Say, bro, we know the Democrats lie. We've had a good example of the IRS thing that they're not going for anyone that's making under 400,000, and guess exactly who they go after?
They're coming after Chaka and me.
Yeah,
I know, but that's what I'm saying. So
people that make a significant portion of their money in cash.
Yeah, but look, that's the point of why people like me get up in arms, is because we can't just trust that what they've told us on on the surface is going to be true of what they actually passing in these bills. So,
Dude,
you know,
would,
a lot
would
of us
they,
are
would they,
up in
would
arms
they,
when it comes to stuff like this because we know how they misuse the media to tell us one thing, and then because we're not there and we haven't read and know exactly what's in there, we end up agreeing to.
It
We end up
doesn't matter.
agreeing
They
to
were
something.
offering jobs for armed agents, which means enforcement, not sitting in a cubicle crunching numbers. They need
Yeah,
enforcement agents,
and the thing about it
people
is,
willing
if
to
anybody
carry
has good,
guns.
yeah, and the thing to add to what you're saying, Doc, is that just common sense would let you know that they're hiring 80,000 people, and if you know, it's less than 5% of the population that makes 400,000 or more, then why do you need 80,000 enforcement agents?
According to them, to alleviate the 3-year backup they've got right now.
That's bullshit.
Enforcement agents for what?
Because listen,
The
if
IRS.
if we're talking about 5% of the population, and we're talking about 300 million in the population, we're still talking about a couple of 100,000 people. So that's still bullshit because you can only
Well, I can
those people
tell you.
might have multiple years, but do you need multiple police to go handle one? You know, those few people. Like if they was talking about hiring maybe 5,000 people that they were going to add nationwide to be able to handle certain things. Maybe that would be more understandable. But the math doesn't add up. 80,000
to be
new,
honest,
not additional, 80,000 additional people.
To be fair, out of that 87,000, probably only about 5,000 or so are going to be gun carrying. I'm sure not all 87,000 will be.
I think we're still getting off the point. The point is how the ridiculousness of where we are right now. They're banning Dr. Seuss books. They're from the schools. They're banning the book about
Actually,
Rosa Parks. The principals.
Dr. Seuss stopped publishing their own books.
Any Disney stuff.
This
Well,
principle.
no, they're not stopping the publishing of these books. They're stopping them being available in.
No. Dr. Seuss stopped production by their own choice of books that they considered were problematic. They chose to not print them anymore.
Y'all getting caught up in the details, okay? This principal got fired because she wanted to cover the Renaissance doing the statue, Michelangelo statue. Like,
okay, but
this is where we are as a result.
Dude, I was
of the
watching
ridiculous.
this shit happen in the 80s.
This
bro. But
I got beat
we
up
are
for playing
addressing it,
a
but we're
game known as
addressing it on a finer
Dungeons
line
and
than I guess you expected.
So Chaka, are you, when you say this is where we are you saying the over sexualization of our children, or the fact that this woman got fired for doing her job?
I'm saying she got fired for doing her job, and it had nothing to do with overtly sexualizing any child.
Yeah, I would have made him fire me. She chose to quit.
But the thing is, if you know, these days with the heightened, because I mean, if she didn't send out notices like what I got, and for my kid and what's going to be in their library, to at least give me a chance to say yes or no. If she didn't give those parents a chance to do that, then she's violated the law.
And I get it. The law is the law is fucking stupid. The law is fucking ridiculous, because we've been watching. You can go to the damn you could take your child to the museum. They don't have no age requirement. You can walk around that museum right now and go look at those
but
statues.
some of them are choosing not to go there. There's still a segment of people who are choosing not to go to the museum, and then you know, they definitely don't want it to be forced on their children at school. So So we're talking about a country that is governed based on laws. So if you are you know, someone who works for our government, which a teacher does, a principal does, on our local government, and they're not following the rules. Like, I mean, as simple as this is, and maybe there's an overaction, but that people have the right to say, look, I don't want my child to do this. You didn't give me an opportunity.
It's
Like, I mean,
fucking
it just is what it is.
and
You
it's
can call
fucking
it crazy.
stupid. It's
Okay,
not
you can
crazy.
call
It's
it what
stupid.
you can call it what you want, but that's just the way it is. And you know what? I mean, look, I'm waiting for the bid. I'm waiting to see what what office you're gonna hold.
Let me read this comment underneath here. It says, what is more concerning to me is that this parent is acting as if their child was unaware that males have a penis. I'm also pretty positive that the entire lesson wasn't focused on the penis of this statue. Has anyone been to Florida lately to make sure that all the animals are wearing proper garments to cover up their genitalia?
Exactly.
that's
You know what?
funny, but
That's a perfect comment.
well, you know, and look, I agree that this is excessive. This is probably too much, but at the same time, we can't have rogue. We're all like the main thing right now is that we have a bunch of politicians that's going rogue and trying to do things within their own power instead of allowing the people to exercise theirs. Because like we do have a right to raise our children the way we want. Just because like the public schools, they
Can
not
I
to
say this, bro?
you
Can
can
I
say what
say
you
this?
like.
Just to be fair, and to to kind of big up be on the principal side a little bit. Say, man, those letters, because she stated that due to miscommunication, the letters hadn't gotten out. But I guarantee you, bro, like just being married to somebody that has been in the school system for several years, those letters probably went out. But this is the
For
shit
what?
that we deal with. This is the shit that we deal with in the public school system. You know, that's just like when it comes down, like right now, they're dealing with course selection. They sent out letters. They sent out, and then I'm gonna tell you something else. With the school system nowadays, you have multiple ways of being contacted about anything that's going on at school.
But
That's
that's
just like me. I'm contacted by email, phone call, text
that's
message,
exactly.
and
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 this
this is what I'm saying.
go ahead.
It went out. I guarantee you, these parents got it. Okay, but then you
But
had these
because they
kids
weren't
coming
aware.
home. You had
But
these
see, but
kids
that,
coming
but see,
home over, exaggerating the story of what actually took place, in classroom, that it made it such a big deal because I've had to
what,
correct my own children, my own son who's in elementary that's came home and said something,
but
and then
what?
we email the teacher and get some understanding,
Well, hold
and he
on.
totally blew the fucking thing up.
Listen. Hold on now, because when you're saying that he totally blew it up, I mean, I would have to, because I mean, this is all about the children, right? And if the children is displaying something that was off or not right, like, do you not trust your children that, okay, look, I didn't feel comfortable with this discussion? And because some adult
Yes, I
came and
mean,
made
I
it
trust,
sound good to
I
you,
try.
now you done dropped your guard because some adult say, oh, well, no, it was this, and that. But your child
Well, I
said
kind of have the
something.
privilege because of the fact that my wife works in the school district. Okay, I have the privilege to get the actual curriculum that he came home and talked about, and we got to actually see for ourselves what it was. But what I'm saying is that no, I'm not saying that I don't trust my child. But how many times have we been in a situation where our child has came home and explained something to us, and then we go and we investigate and we find out it's not exactly what they said. You know what I'm saying? And the reason that I do this, that I
Well, I've
want to
never
hear
had
both
the
sides.
issue
I'm
that
not
way.
I'm not discontinuing. I'm not discounting what my child is telling me because my kids tell me the truth. Like they know I don't play that line shit. But the fact of the matter is, before we just automatically start making an uproar, we got to think about, okay, this woman or man has a family at home, and we just gonna run with what our child said, and now this person is fucking suspended without pay or whatever, or fired, and now they can't provide, and then come to find out that it was blown out of proportion, or this is what they do, bro. This is how the school system work, and this is what I'm trying to explain to you. Like, this is how the school board, the school system, and every school district around the country, this is how they work.
I understand
They
that.
immediately are willing to fire the teacher, principal, administrator, whoever the fuck it was,
I'll be right
without
back.
launching a proper
Because we work
investigation,
on
which
law.
is not.
Because we work on a system that's governed not by people but by laws. That's what the legislations and all these things are in place for. And like I said, I agree with all of y'all that this situation. Maybe it shouldn't have come to that. But if there was a malfunction with the email system and parents weren't able to get it, you hold up on that lesson so that you can give the parents a chance to, so if you don't want your kid
It
involved in
should have
that,
been a
they
permission
can
slip
they can be
form.
able,
That's what
yeah,
it.
they can, something should have happened first, and that's what the whole core of it is about. Like at the
I mean, I
core.
get that, and that's why I say it should have been, instead of it being a letter sent out, it should have been a permission slip that gives a brief understanding of the curriculum or what they're going to be going over, and explain, and then have the parents sign and date and send back in. At least send the lower half stating, hey, we got permission from this parent, from that parent, from that, and the ones that we don't have permission from, we send them to another classroom, or we send them, somewhere else. I mean, that's just like when I was in school. We had kids that was Jehovah Witness, that was, different religions, that they didn't celebrate anything having to do with Christmas, and the teachers knew, and so they would excuse that child from the class. They either went to the library or they went to the computer lab and done something on the computer till we finished that movie or
Yeah,
that
no,
lesson.
I get it, and I totally agree that, like I said, the parent overall for that child is responsible for how they, because I mean, down the road something happens, like it's gonna be looking toward the parent. Even when they become an adult, I mean, they might not be liable, but at the same time, people gonna look at, oh, well, what's up with the parents? What's the parents teaching? What, how they was raised and all that kind of stuff come into question. So they should have the
Yeah,
chance to be
I'm
able
glad you
to.
say that, bro. I'm glad you said that, because in this generation that we don't believe
Oh,
that their voices need to be louder than their parents nowadays want to place blame on the system. And it's like, okay, fuck the system. What are you doing? How are you raising
yeah.
your child in the four walls of your home? What are you instilling in that child? Fuck the system. And that's the thing, bro. And that's what I think I've been preaching this since I first came into this platform with y'all, is that, and that's one of the things me and Chaka argue about too. Dude, we're taking away. I understand what Chaka be saying. I understand what everybody be saying, but man, we live in a society where we're not holding motherfuckers accountable for their own actions, bro. Fuck the system. Fuck what's being put out there. Fuck the food that we have. Say, man, we can make better choices. Dude, get out there and get off your ass and walk, motherfucker. The doctor telling you got poor circulation, yada yada yada. Go walk. Go ride a
Yeah,
bike. Go do something,
because I
man.
mean,
And I'm glad you said that, bro, because we did, like, and that's the reason for the demise of this world, and what's happening to us right now in our country, is because we as humans, we as a society, we as a culture take no accountability for shit. We blame and point the finger at everything and everybody else.
yeah, and that's the part that I definitely advocate against, is like just trying to pass the buck every time. Like, it's not the teacher's responsibility. Like, you're ordained by God to make sure that child, once He blesses you with that child, the universe, however you want to call it, gives you that job. Like, it's up to you. You can't keep blaming it on the child or like certain things. You really have to say it was your responsibility that they understood this or that they, you know, learned certain things throughout life. I mean, them being able to cook for themselves and not have to rely on any other human being to survive, you know, like it's all those things are up to you as a parent. So don't you know, give me the responsibility here and I, you know, and then I, you know, I can only have partial responsibility in other areas. No, bro. And but I also exercise the fact that, you know, like my child is not you know, a part, you know, like he's you know, I have full responsibility as a parent. I'm in a self-governing government. Um I don't have somebody to tell me, you know, like if I say no, it's actually no. But some people, you know, I don't know if they have that even exercise it just within themselves, regardless of how, you know, because I think that that's something that you don't need to go change your paperwork to do. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, either you establish a certain standard of life, and this is the way it's, you know, not should be, but it's going to be. So
I think all this anti-woke political sensationalism bullshit is getting to the point where people are going to say Michelangelo was LGBTQ
he was.
promoter to my children, trying to teach them sex education and turn them into gay
But he was.
kids.
He was gay. I mean, not to
Most
say
of the
that it's a
people that
bad thing.
existed, and I think most of the people that existed back then were probably, you could probably say were. I mean, you just look at the shit that they did back then, but that's besides the point. But you know.
Yeah, I mean that's I mean, because what he was doesn't really matter based on unless that's the theme that they're using to teach these children about him. If you know, if we're talking about his art, that's one thing, and you know, the appreciation of art, that's one thing. But the discussion that's going along with it can very much change the whole narrative, like everything.
So do you
Like the
think
way
that this principal or any of the teachers that were at this school was using the David
I don't
statue
know. I
to
don't
to
know.
to teach them about, I don't know, sex or LGBTQs or
I don't know, but that's why my
Well,
conversation
Teach them about that
according
egg
to every
plant. You see,
bit, according to the information we have, it was in the context of an art history class.
yeah, the
yeah,
classical art.
yeah,
So
exactly.
that's the thing. But and you know, regardless, like you can't because you believe strongly on you know how vital this is to your child's learning. If the law is that they have to have an opportunity to be able to accept or decline, and they didn't weren't given either one of those options, is why she's. It's not because I can't say that you know. Yeah, this is part of why she ended up getting fired or you know pushed out of her job. But at the 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 baseline of it is the governing portion of it.
And the problem is she's been doing pretty well as a principal in Florida schools. She's probably too conservative to go to a more liberal state to get a job.
Well, and you know, I
I
hate it for. I'm
mean,
not. I'm not like happy this is happening to this woman. I'm just. I mean, I am being non-biased. I'm just telling you, like, look. I mean, it's not just you know. You can't just look at one side of the story and forget the rest of it.
hey,
But I
she
think
may
that these
you know
parents should
she may
know
be
if they're
taking the hit for
doing.
the secretary that didn't send the note.
that could be the case, and that kind of thing
Exactly.
happens a lot. But see, that's still beside the point. I mean, the point is, this is the point we've gotten to that is all the way super ridiculous because of is this politically charged topic of sex education, CRT, LGBTQ.
but the
Boys have penises and girls have vaginas. You know,
yes, but listen. The problem, because if they weren't people out there being extreme, we wouldn't have to put everything under a magnifying glass.
so everybody
And
has to suffer because of it. It's a
yes,
few people
yes,
who are being extra extreme.
that's what this government calls for.
Thank
Because
you. Didn't we learn that during the pandemic?
nobody. Thank you, Doc.
That doesn't make it right.
That was the lesson that we were locked inside and taught for 2 years.
That it was a
This
few
is just
people.
an extension of that.
I
Well, that
agree.
y'all were locked up because guess what? I was slaving away while everybody else was at home collecting free money.
You a lie. I ain't collect shit. I wish I could have got a free check.
I didn't get
motherfucker. Shit.
free money.
Yeah. Oh well.
Regardless,
have.
I lost everything.
If you made less than 99,000 a year, then you was supposed to get something. But okay.
I was not employed when it happened, therefore I did not qualify.
Oh damn.
All of that's
That was
that's
more reason
beside
for
the
you to
point.
qualify.
I get exactly what you saying.
I was
Tucker. I
between
understand
I was
what you're saying. That it's ridiculous, bro. But that's
Well,
the climate that we
yeah,
live
but
in,
see,
and
but
that's because
the
we have allowed for we've invited the government so much into our lives where they have came in, they befriended us, and now guess what? They said fuck you, we're not your friend, and this is the way it's gonna be.
we
Yeah.
got
So
to a
this.
point to where we can't even trust our neighbor because
they went from
of
being our
we
friend going back to being big brother.
Well, my point is this anti-woke thing has snowballed to the point where you
this is
can't
driving me
even
nuts.
show.
This is not anti-woke.
As far as Florida
This has
is,
been going on with the Statue of David as long as I have been alive.
that
It's really
principals
not a.
get
It's
fired
really
for
not a new
showing
thing.
it in a history class.
Yes.
It has, yes.
Yes.
This is not new, really.
I
This is
never
just
heard that
there-
before.
If it was any other statue, I might agree with you toward the wokeism and stuff. But the Statue of David specifically has been the subject of this topic for as long as I've been alive.
For
I haven't
decades.
never heard this before.
See,
But
they
that's the
over
thing.
exaggerated that
This
statue. They
is how
made that
they.
eggplant too
This is
big.
Remember,
what they
I've gone to
do.
high schools all across the country, though.
They
Yeah,
made
but
that
this is what
eggplant too
this is
big
what they
on the
do
statue of
through the
David,
media.
and it's got
Oh
a lot
yeah.
of women mad out here that the men that they with ain't living up to what David had, and you showing my child this shit,
They
and
could
I
have
ain't got
they
this.
could have used a way smaller eggplant.
No,
Bro, let
David's
me.
got David's got a white
I
boy
feel
winky.
sorry. I feel sorry for anybody
Hey man,
that's living like David, because
They could have used a
hey
way
Doc,
smaller
you may,
eggplant.
He just
hey
got
look
out of
here,
the
you
pool,
could,
man.
Yeah, it's
hey
cold
Doc,
outside.
I
Hey
guess.
Doc, you saying that movie a little
Well, he
bit.
should have put
I
on
done
a fur
seen that
coat or something.
statue in real life, and I'm like, God damn, this dude here, cover that motherfucker up. I don't need to be saying that shit.
It'd be
Yeah.
funny if you start seeing them with trench coats on.
Yeah, that's
Man,
what they're gonna
trench
start
coat.
doing. And in the museum, they're gonna just start putting little pasties over it or something.
Hey,
Little
bro, but you
stars.
know it'd be crazy if they put a trench coat on him, right? And then they had it motorized with somebody staring too long. The trench coat open up. Come get this dick.
That's now that'll be probably more traumatizing to a child than anything. But no, say Chaka, I feel your pain.
Why is that homeless
to
man?
some
Why is
extent
he
because
doing like that? Like the homeless man does?
for real. But no, like seriously,
Yeah.
like I can appreciate this, and like my son at 12 years old, I mean I would allow him to have that discussion with his class, his teacher, or whatever. because especially this is not something that I think is sexualized, but for those who aren't as expanded with the views or the thinking, then they have the right to feel how they feel.
Well, then
And
all the rest of the kids in the class don't get to see this or learn the
no,
art history
that's
because
not
of that one
no, it's not
parent.
true. That's
No,
not true.
no.
That's not
They
true.
remove the
That
children
child, they
that
remove
are
those
not allowed to
children.
see that. They
Yeah,
missed
that's
the
it.
whole lecture.
They go and do something else. They go do some coloring, or they go and read some approved material somewhere else. Like that's all that's happening, bro. Like no, everybody else is not getting a chance to learn it just because the few people that decide that they don't want their children to see that. That's not how it works.
Yeah, well, I hope that's what's happening.
Because just like the parent that has the choice not to have their child to see it, the parent also has the right to allow their children to go and see this.
Well, I hope that's the case, because with the case
No,
with the
that's
books
exactly what.
the books, they're taking them out of the school. So do the other kids that the parents are okay with them reading those books? Do those kids
Well,
still
the
have
way
access to those books?
yes, that's the thing, because these are
At
because
the
like what I sent
library,
you the email. Listen,
just
the
not the
email.
school.
Just listen. The like with my son's situation, I sent you the email or whatever. These are digital books. So if I disagree with a certain book, it doesn't come up on his computer as an option. You understand?
Yeah.
So the other parents, it's going to work the same way. But when I mark my child as, okay, I don't want him to see this book or that book, I can go through all the books and say, okay, he can see, he can read these, but I don't want him to read these. And when he goes to look at it, he doesn't even get to see the title of the ones I don't want him to see.
I just think we're in a crazy time, and we're going backwards. That's what I think.
I don't think so. I think that this is a great improvement. Like this is really
I think
gives
that
more
we're
control to the parent. Like it gives
man, but I feel like
it's
they're
giving more control to
sheltering.
the people,
I think
which it should
kids
be.
nowadays are so sheltered, bro. Like and the amount of naiveness that exists among the kids, bro. Like
Shit, the
let them be
parents
kids.
too.
Let them expound. Let them. I mean, I'm not saying go out there and be promiscuous or nothing like that, but like these kids need to know things. It's better that you teach them and
But with the
you
right,
teach them and then a
with the
setting,
right
with
guidance.
the
But that's the
yeah,
thing,
because
because I think that any subject is open for me and my child. It's just that it's led with the right ideas, things that I agree with, not where it's just like any, like certain things I don't feel my son is prepared for, or that
because these kids, they know more than what, like, kids are more resilient.
I
They know
I
more than we
I
give
get
them
it.
credit for
And
at
I was about to say, kids
at a
know
sixth
about
grade level.
they know about
Yeah, they know.
penises and vaginas because half of them got one or the other. Like this
Yeah,
is
like they
craziness.
talk about
They
this
done
shit,
seen
bro. Like
penises
sixth
before.
graders,
They done
Bro,
seen
fifth and
vaginas
sixth graders,
before.
yes,
they
they
doing.
have, because like they look.
I hope a
Well,
lot
these
My
more than
parents need
half
to
of them
stop
have
that
either one or
bullshit.
the other.
well, I mean, like it's like you think like we, as far as a family, like my son has seen me naked. Like he has seen his mother naked. He's seen his cousin when they were young, because maybe they even took baths together. So it's not that part is not. It wasn't. But see, that's the thing. Certain like I don't think that y'all have seen enough examples of where this goes bad, so that because you don't want to implant trauma in your child that's not ready or can really understand it fully. Especially like if you just throw something out in front of your kid's face and he's just like don't understand any of it, or something, like
Like a
he needs to
statue
have
of like a
a
naked
discussion behind it.
like a naked statue of David.
Okay, and somebody can make that a bad experience,
How?
bro. Just because you have a pure mind about it does not mean others do not. Are you forgetting like there's a whole segment of people who voted for Trump? There's had people that see the world totally different than you. Like I don't know how it's so hard to understand.
It's hard for me to understand that they think that a penis on a statue is sexual. A little bitty ass penis.
I hear you.
Unerect
I hear
penis.
you. But this is one subject that has because like this is minor compared to some of the things that they've probably seen already.
But this is the road that you go down when you allow them to pass them stupid ass
everything
laws.
is okay. So any and everything is okay. Is that the road you want to go down?
No, I'm saying that them stupid
Well,
ass laws
stop it. Well,
them
stop
stupid
it.
laws
You can't-
that Ron DeSantis is passing in Florida
No, you just mad.
is leading to this.
You just mad at Ron DeSantis, but the whole discussion is so that people can gain control again instead of government trying to decide everything for you. You say you don't want to live in a
The
fascist
government
country.
is deciding that my child can't see
No,
David's
they're
statue.
not. No, they are not. They're giving you an option. You have to be a parent.
Actually, the people decided. All the government is
But-
doing is enforcing that rule.
Yes, and the thing about it is you just have to be a parent and say, yeah, I want my child to see that. You have the option now.
You
Instead of
actually
some
have to
other
be involved.
Yeah, like that's where I am happy that I receive a letter that says, hey, look, these woke people around here saying such and such and such. Look, here's what we're doing. Here's the options. This is what we have a list of different material that is available to your child. Here's your chance to go in and say yay or nay to these options.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to wrap it, y'all. I'm gonna try to go to sleep. I have to wind down after I do these shows. I can't just go straight to sleep, so I have to
Shit, all I gotta do is put my head down on that pillow. 5 minutes, I'm out.
Nah, I can't do it. I see wound
those
up.
damn. I started counting them damn. What's the sheet that was that mattress commercial? Was it a sleep number? I
Yeah.
don't know. It was yeah. But
Nah, not me. I literally have to wind down after doing the show. I'll be pressing buttons and looking shit up and opening tabs and thinking about the flow of the
look,
show
bro,
and everything.
You need to get into your breathing practices, your meditation, things like that, because I promise you it'll be because it's really you get excited in the show, especially like right now. I'm sure you kind of you're not settled because of the last conversation, but the proper breathing will bring you down and allow you to relax much quicker, and you could probably fall asleep in the next 5 or 10 minutes if you did that.
Yeah. Well, the way I do it is I play the game, and I guess when I be getting my ass beat, I be breathing. So that's probably it. Probably is the breathing. I be exhaling when I
Just
lose.
go look at that statue. You'll be all right. You fall asleep.
I might get aroused.
All right.
I wonder if he painted. I wonder if he painted with that with that eggplant. What kind of pictures did he paint?
Yeah. What was he thinking about when he was when he did that part of the statue? He was like, man, let's get these details right. It's like, how you know these details so well, buddy?
Hey.
You've been studying penises.
Actually, he knew those details so well. Actually, yeah, he did.
It is I that I'm going to make.
That's fucking funny.
Just remember, man, our society was built on shoulders of freaks.
Yeah.
A lot of the people in history,
Yeah.
philosophers, artists, statesmen, were, if not gay, had some really weird things going on.
Yeah, like I like to
Hey
bring
man,
up
they got a lot of
Sigmund
those
Freud.
shows out there, man. I don't know if they're still out there, but man, for real, man, I had my trainer when I first started driving trucks. He used to watch those shows like medieval Renaissance style like shows. I forget what. Matter of fact, he used to watch them on the internet. This was way back in like 06, 07. And that's why I'm seeing this shit. I'm like, man, what the fuck is that? He was like, bro, this is why our world is the way that it is today. This shit was taking place way before us. Dudes wearing kilts, and because the what's the word, like, sex, what's the P word they call, I can't think of that word. Like how men and women were like, bro. He was like, this shit, all this gay stuff and all that. He was like, this shit was way before we were ever thought of, bro. Before our daddies were ever thought of. They used to have. He used to watch them. I don't know if they still have that shit on like Netflix and all that other stuff, but I know it used to be out back in the day. You could like watch that shit on the internet.
Well, that's what I be
Like,
talking about with the
they had different
fashion,
movies.
because it just our founding fathers, they wore wigs and stockings and high heels. Not to say
But
that they were gay.
There was different symbolism for that. I mean,
But-
not to
but
say that they could. That
fashion.
They weren't,
And they had
Well,
a
no.
bunch of frills too. Like, what do you call them? The frills,
Hey, don't
like
knock
Prince.
the pirate shirt, man.
Yeah,
Don't knock the pirate shirt.
I'm not even knocking it.
I can rock the pirate shirt.
I'm saying that people are brainwashed and don't understand that trends go in certain. It was a time where if a woman wore pants, she was like she was the devil, and then the skirts and kilts that you're talking about, Deuce, wasn't all having to do with sex. It had to do with access, with being able to use the restroom too. You know what I'm saying? Things were different.
Yeah.
And they could poop and pee and
Mm.
all of that. And underwear didn't come about until more recent times. Back in the days, they didn't even wear underwear because that it just wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with sex.
Yeah, I feel you.
It's about letting them boys breathe.
I feel you. I guess me growing up in the era of underwear, like, bro, I can't do it. Like, I don't see how motherfuckers wear jeans
Well-
with no underwear. I can't do it, bro.
I
Unless
can't
it's
do
like
it
some
either. I'm chafed if I do.
shorts I
they
sleep in,
also
like
had to-
basketball shorts or something.
Yeah, also to keep things hidden, by the time they were 60, they had to have a kilt that went down below their knees.
Yeah, I hear you.
right.
Tell me about it. Cause I go sit down nowadays. Now I understand why old men, before they sat down, they reach and they grab the crotch part of their pants. Cause you gotta lift them nuts
Mhm.
up. Cause you sit on them motherfuckers when
That
you
shit
get
hurt.
older. Yeah,
Gravity
that
is
shit
a
hurt.
harsh
I did it the
mistress.
other day. Damn near fell out the truck cause I sat on them motherfuckers. I'm like, oh Lord.
God damn.
Gravity
much
is a harsh
information.
mistress.
That's too much information, man.
Yeah, that's I wasn't ready for that.
Anyways, y'all, peace and love. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for listening, man. We'll be back next week.
Like,
Peace and
love, and throw us a few dollars.
Yeah,
Put something in Chocolate's garter belt.
just in the collection
Yeah,
plate.
man. Y'all throw them few dollars this way, y'all gonna get them statues, goddamn, with that eggplant.
All right, man. Peace.
Send us money or we will release his sex tape.
Oh,
And y'all don't want to see that.
I got a couple of video. Well, y'all might like mine. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't.
got-
Y'all don't want to see it. Yeah, I don't want to see that.
Man, keep that shit over there in that truck with you, patting the bunk. Goddamn. Keep them for practice purposes only, motherfucker. We don't want to see that.
All right,
Pat gonna
man.
they gonna be like, hey man, this is how your daddy used to get down. Look at that. See how I was tearing her ass up?
Talk about sex education. This sex education for you right here. You ain't gonna get this in the classroom.
Damn.
All right, man. Peace and
All
love,
right, man.
man.
Y'all have a good night. Peace
All
and
right.
love.
Peace.